You're watching the Top 6 Show, the original multi-club fan channel. Make sure you're following us now on Spotify and Apple Podcast. The link is in the description below. Welcome back to the Top 6 Show. Hit the like button, subscribe, get those bell notifications turned on as well. Big shout out to our title sponsors, Match Bingo, who are giving away a massive, massive prize for a full house this weekend in the Manchester Derby. Over £2,000 to be given away. So get signed up now. You have to be over the age of 18 in the UK. Scan that QR code just above my head or click on the link below. More on them a little bit later. We've got a brilliant, brilliant panel for you tonight. We've got LB back in the house with us again. We've got Egal and Saad. We've got Ram. Man like Don is here. And we're joined by the brilliant Kate as well. How is everyone this evening? Everybody well and good?
Great, thank you.
Not too bad.
Good man.
Can't complain.
We could rattling people, you know what I mean?
Mate, you have rattled a lot of people. Just getting the order of the panel into where you sit in the league right now. We're just doing that. But theoretically, really,
I like it.
Don should be off screen if we're going to be honest about league position right now.
Hey.
Where he should be. Where he should be. Don, talk a second, Don.
Yo.
Your mic ain't connected. Just want to let you know.
Yeah,
your mic ain't coming through. Yeah, sort that out, my G. Yeah, everyone's good. Look, I wanted to start with some sad news, I suppose. Paul Pogba today, banned from football for the next 4 years, which essentially ends his career. He has come out and defended himself. He has come out and said that he believes this ruling is false. He's essentially protesting his innocence, but it's a 4-year ban. He's already, 31 years of age. He's probably never going to kick a ball again at the elite end of the spectrum. LB, what does it do to Paul Pogba's legacy as a football player?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure he had much of a legacy anyway. I mean, let's be honest. He went to United and didn't really do anything. I do think a large part of that is probably down to where the club was at rather than him, but I do think there's a part to play. Had a good couple of years at Juventus, but does he have much of a legacy? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that quality-wise, he's an unbelievable footballer. And obviously we've seen that for France. Exactly, I was just going to say. We've seen that for France time and time again. But in terms of club football, I'm not really sure the guy has much of a legacy, to be honest with you. It's a shame what's happened because I don't think it's good for any footballer or any sports person to for this to happen. And obviously, like you say, he's defended himself and that. But yeah, I don't really think there's much of a legacy there. He's a player that had a lot of potential, probably should have achieved much, much more in club football. We've seen he's a good footballer for France, but ultimately, the guy's played 300 club games. You know what I mean? I don't really think he has much of a legacy in my view.
I think that decision to go to United is what done it for him, man. I think he literally had the pick of any club, coming out of Juve. He could have gone anywhere. Madrid wanted him badly, but he decided to go back to the club that got rid of him. And you guys know, we've spoken about Sancho, we've spoken about Martial, who had a Ballon d'Or contract in there and whatnot. These guys go United and that place is a graveyard. You know what I mean? At the time, same sort of take that I had with Sancho. I said, this guy should not be going United. They're going to sell him a dream about how they're going to build around him. But the time that he was there, the guy was playing as a DM next to Scott McTominay and these sort of guys. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think he just wasted a lot of his prime years. It's a shame because Pogba, we saw what he was doing at the World Cup. Natural ability alone, for me, he was the best player in the Prem. I think it was between him and KDB. But he just made the wrong decision, man, to go to United. It's a shame, innit? It's a shame, but that's it. I think he picked the wrong team to go to.
You imagine if he would have come to a City under Pep Guardiola, like what maybe, or even Klopp at Liverpool. Like, imagine like what player he could have been, and like, because like I say, there's no doubt in my mind that the guy's not a good footballer. Clearly, he is a good footballer, but like you say, he chose the wrong club. And United, I think was it Gary Neville who said United's a graveyard for football players. That's another one really that his best years were taken away from him. Just like a number of other players.
Yeah. I completely agree. Look, I've said for many years.
Do you know what he reminds?
Go on, mate. You must have a delay. Your delay is
mad delay.
Yeah, very bad delay.
My back.
Yeah, no.
I was gonna...
I've muted you, Ram. Go out and come back in, otherwise that's going to cause problems all night long, my friend.
Terry, can you hear me properly now? Yeah, my mic.
Yeah, all good, all good.
Perfect.
I think I agree with what you're saying. I think his decisions come to Man United hurt him. I've said for many years when it comes to player debates, their decision making is also part of their legacy. And I know this will trigger, and it's not meant to, but it will trigger some Liverpool fans. It's why when I hear their argument, because Lampard and Scholes have more titles than Gerrard, they say, but he wasn't as good a team. He could have left. When I hear Spurs fans for years say, yeah, but Kane isn't at Arsenal. He isn't at peak Chelsea. He isn't at Man City. He's at our little club. He didn't need to sign a new deal. A football player is judged on his ability. He's judged on what he wins. He's also judged on his decision-making. If the decision-making of Harry Kane was to eat too much pie and mash, drink too much beer, and he was overweight, that's not an excuse either. So I look at Paul Pogba and think he made a poor decision coming back to United, and then him and his team didn't do a good enough job at getting out quickly enough. They stayed far too long, and he had and listen, I'm so glad. What I am glad about is that we didn't give him that 450. It's one of the best bits of work that Ten Hag's done at the club. He pulled away the offer of the £450,000 a week, because imagine if he was on. He's obviously taken. Now, some people are going to say he's completely innocent. I'm just going to go with what we've read in the adjudication. I believe he's taken these performance-enhancing drugs because we could all see his body was breaking down. And I think he's taken them out of desperation to get back to playing football. And it's why the majority of athletes across all sports take performance-enhancing drugs. It's because there's an underlying problem normally. So I feel sad for him. I feel sad that he wasted a lot of his best years at Man United. At the same time, though, he still made that, as sad as I feel, because we've seen a wasted talent. He's still accountable for that because he's made all those decisions over the past 10 years that has led to this point. And to go out the way he did, and I get where you're coming from, LB. I think he does have a legacy within the game, but I think quite a lot, barring what he did internationally, and it's amazing what he did internationally, won the World Cup, scored in the final, was brilliant at that tournament. At a club level, does he have a club legacy in football? The answer for me is no. He's won trophies. He did very well at a young age in Serie A, but since he moved to Man United in 2015 until now, what has he done at club level? Barring a handful of good games, he has not done enough to move into that category. I saw someone the other day, today, tweet that he goes down as one of the top 5 greatest midfielders of all time. I just thought to myself,
no way, he's not.
I love Paul Pogba, but that's a nonsense for me.
He reminds me. So sorry, I was going to say he just reminds me of them players. Like, oh, that guy of one of those teams. Like, oh, he was that guy that played for Juventus. Oh, he was that guy who's part of the World Cup team. That's all I see when it comes to Paul Pogba. Massively talented. But I think the one thing that does him with the legacy in terms of those teams, you look at the players that they were around him, people will just return and spin the narrative that even though he had played a major part, Marquisio, Vidal, Pirlo, those are 3 giants of Italian football. And then you look at Matuidi and Kante, those are 2 just as big giants when it comes to French football. And people will just remember him as the guy that, he was, even though he played his part, he was great midfields.
But that's where I defend Pogba, though. Because when you think about all the midfielders we look at, just take Premier League as greats. Look who KDB has played with. Look who Patrick Vieira played with. Look who Keenan Scholes played with. Look who Lampard played with. Whenever you think about Gerrard played with Alonso, Mascherano, let's not act like the midfielders we hold up to high regard did it all by themselves. So that's where I will defend Paul Pogba. He was an integral part of those teams, even though he had brilliant people around him. At the end of the day, it wasn't, Messi didn't do what he did at Barca by himself. Xavi didn't do it by himself. He had Iniesta and Busquets around him. They all have you could spin that narrative against anybody and act like they weren't influential. Pogba was hugely influential at the World Cup for France, and he was massively influential for Juve.
But I think that's what people are going to do with him. I think that's how people are just going to remember him by, because of how great those other midfielders are.
Only if you're a bloody idiot.
You want to know something? Because he won the World Cup,
man.
Because he won the World Cup, he will always have a big legacy in football. But for club football, because he didn't do the great heights for Manchester United, he's not going to be remembered for club football. But what he's done in Italy when he was young shouldn't be forgotten. Like he's not going to be remembered as an all-time great, but he'll be remembered as one of those like folk heroes or like those people just below the legends of the game. And there's no shame in that. But I honestly want to know if this is actually true, because I've seen people get banned before for taking drugs by mistake, things like that. I want Paul Pogba to come out and actually have a full-out interview and to speak about it and to tell us what really went on, because it could have been a situation where he might have taken prescription drugs and that he was prescribed for another issue or to heal quicker or something like that. We don't know the full story, but sometimes when they tell us what's actually happened, it kind of
Egal, that's not how it works though, bro. Like when you're a professional athlete, any medication you take has to be authorized by the football club. Anything. But you can't just go and get Calpol, bro. You got to get it checked off because to make sure. So he's not just took some off the shelf medicine for a cold and then gone, oh fucking not sorry.
The guy has been set up before. The guy had literally had issues with his family. He's been set up before. There's been
he came out on Instagram, Egal. He spoke about it. Said he's gonna appeal it. He's already come out.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is his career is on the line. You know what I mean?
Bro,
but like,
I get his career is on the line. But we've seen stuff with Onana taking prescriptions for his wife by accident. He like these things happen. I just personally myself, I can't believe a guy that talented would go to this level. He
might not.
Isn't the thing that he got?
Call me naive, call me whatever, but I don't believe he did it.
But I think isn't the because I remember Tel, you were saying in a video that it was the thing that they found in his body for this so-called drug. It's in foods and stuff like that, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that was a report I read a few months back as an example. But again, I want to ask you, why do you believe he's completely innocent? Why do you believe he hasn't taken anything that he shouldn't have? What makes you believe that?
What makes me believe that is all the situations that have been happening with his family. I think he could have potentially been set up. I don't think a player that talented would throw his career down the drain and adamantly still defend himself. If he's wrong, I think he probably would have put his hands up and said, I did it. But the fact that he's defending himself makes me believe that there is something going on here. And it's not out of the realm of possibility when he's been blackmailed by family members and other things are going on, that something could have happened. Somebody could have slipped something in his drink.
No, but could it also be a Mamadou Sakho situation? Because Sakho was done for taking fat burners. And then they came out saying that he's not allowed to take them. Then obviously appealed it, and then turns out that the medicine is actually legal. You're allowed to take it even in sporting competitions. So it could be a situation like that. But look, that was probably one in a million kind of chance, because I've never heard of a thing where a medicine which has not been authorized or has been authorized, and then they end up banning the player because of that. I think it's a bit of a stretch.
Again, full disclosure, he's had 2 separate samples over a period of time, both testing positive.
How long did it take in between those tests, Terry? I don't know. What I'm saying is, if you are somebody who's had situations where you've been blackmailed, have other situations going on, it's not out of the realm of possibility that someone could set you up. I just want to believe the guy himself. I don't believe these tests. I believe what they found, it might be in the system, but how it got there might be from.
The thing is, it's testosterone that's been found in him, and again, I have friends that take testosterone as part of they take that, and they take other things, and they're weightlifters. A lot of that stuff's injected into you. I know that you can get that stuff in meats and things like that. I'm not an expert in those areas. No one on the panel is an expert. No one here is a doctor to explain that. Maybe it's true. Maybe someone can put a pill and dissolve it into your drink and you drink it, but it's a hormone essentially. Not really, it isn't. Again, it's not really a drug. It's obviously manufactured, but it's a hormone that's pumped in. It's an interesting one. I want to believe what you believe. I want to believe what you believe, Egal. But when you say that because he's such a good athlete, why would he do it? Just go and look at great athletes in the history of sport that have taken to the end of their careers, have taken PEDs. There's so many of them to say, I hope it isn't true, and I hope he proves himself to be innocent. But my gut, looking at his injury record, looking how much he was out, what testosterone does to your body. And by the way, you can go to the doctors and get prescribed this if you're not an athlete, because it makes you feel. I've got a friend of mine, he's about 42. He's gone back to the gym, started taking a small amount of testosterone per day. He's like, he physically like he's a 25-year-old again. It's so good for your body because men, as they hit their late 20s, early 30s, your body stops producing it. Therefore, it's harder to recover. It's harder to do everything you did before. It's why you get to a certain age and you sit up and you go, oh, that's the lack. You know, it's that type of thing. And something about it. I'm sad to say it, but I feel like it's true. I hope he's innocent, but I feel
there's reasons for it to be true. Getting towards that part of his career where he was getting injured and he was having injuries. Of course, he's gonna be like, okay, I need to do something to make sure I'm able to play at this level. Because if you're playing at the top leagues, no matter where you're playing, we say the French league is the farmers' league and we laugh about it and everything, but these are still top leagues. So you're playing against athletes that are professional athletes that can run constantly. Maybe Pogba couldn't run anymore. He couldn't run constantly. He couldn't keep himself without.
So to break it down, it isn't directly testosterone they found. Someone just sent me a link here to a further story. Maybe it's pronounced different, but it's DHAE is the word, and it's a substance known that you taste. That's what's been found in him, but that substance naturally increases testosterone. So it isn't testosterone that they've found. They've found abnormal amounts, but they've also found the traces of a chemical called DHEA, which is a manufactured chemical that makes your body produce more testosterone. So again, that could come from foods. It potentially could. I don't know that, but yeah, just want to get the facts straight here. He hasn't injected himself. No one's accusing him of injecting himself with testosterone. It's a chemical that produces testosterone they've found.
Hey, call me what you want, but I want to believe the man, and I just hope it's not true, and maybe that's the side of me that's.
Of course, you want to believe him. We all want to believe he's true. No one wants to believe that the guys took these drugs, bro. But like, you know, you put 2 and 2 together. The guys, look at his injury record. Absolutely stinks over the last 18 months. Like the guy might have just been feeling desperate. And let's not kid ourselves. Yeah, these people are doing these tests. These agencies, not stupid. Yeah, these guys are like doctors. These are medically qualified people. They know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? If there was any doubts, I'm pretty sure that they would have been explored. They would have had to have been explored before the ban was handed down. So, you know, it's sport at the end of the day, and I think you just got to respect it. Is what it is.
But LB, what do you think? What do you think of the fact that he's been given a 4-year ban though? Like, do you think that's a little bit extreme though?
No. You have to protect the game. You have to protect the sport. You have if a player's cheating by taking, you have to send out a message to say you can't do this. So
I've documented that, by the way, because if you don't get found guilty, I'm gonna go back to
financially doping.
Exactly, you've done yourself.
Hey,
Thank you.
I'm not
documenting
that, bro. Don was waiting for that. Don was waiting.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted there. So when we see these men playing Conference League and that Vanarama League South, I don't hear nothing from this guy.
Just to break down what's been found in him, DHAEA. I cannot pronounce the full word. It's got about 20 letters in it. But it's a hormone that your body naturally produces as well. But it can be chemically produced. It is found in foods, predominantly in nuts and seeds. So almonds, walnuts, chia seeds are a few examples. So far what I'm reading, I'm only reading based on what people are sending through to me. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many nuts and seeds you would have to eat to have abnormal amounts in your body. Do you know what I mean? But
I eat whole bags of almonds. Do I have too much now?
No, but that's the thing. Wouldn't the people who have tested it would know the threshold of how much? Wouldn't they know?
Yeah, and that's it as well. And I think that it's a sad one. Let's have a look at some of these super chats that have come in here. Do people really think most athletes aren't on gear? That's a really good point. There are theories. I won't call them conspiracy theories. There are theories that most athletes at some level are taking it. A lot of people that get caught taking drugs in boxing and MMA go, but everybody's doping. It doesn't make you not guilty. You still be. Do you know what I mean? If I'm in court because I've been caught stealing a car, my defense can't be, but lots of other people steal cars. You're still against the rules, isn't it? Like I sort of look at it unless they make it legal. And there's that famous joke that Lee Evans said: if they start letting people take these drugs, then all the events will change at the Olympics. It will be the hop, skip, and where the fuck did he go? I love that joke. It's absolutely brilliant. I love that joke. It's extremely naive to think Pogba is the only player doping. Drugs testing in football is garbage. Millionaire footballers can afford the best drugs and the best doctors to beat the drug test. Well, Nima, I do agree with you. It is, again, it's widely reported. I listen to podcasts about this, and I'm not going to try and plagiarize what they say because I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. But again, if you're taking a certain performance-enhancing drug, it is possible to then take other drugs that then cancel out the traces of those things. And I understand that. And of course, other people, I would say now there are definitely some other professional footballers in the Prem and in Europe doping 100%. But that doesn't make Paul Pogba innocent because other people are doing it. Life, Nima, doesn't work in that way. And again, I want Pogba to be innocent. But if he isn't, he has to be banned. I have the same energy for him as I will for... By the way, I think financially doping is as equally bad as physically doping. It's all bad for the game if it happens. So we can't have one rule for one and one for another. Who had the most disappointing careers, by the way? Pogba or Neymar?
Pogba.
By far, Pogba. Neymar lived up to the hype, in my opinion. Majority of it. He was up there with one of the best players in the world. Pogba never was there.
You know what?
Pogba was there. He got into the World 11, didn't he? So he was up there.
No. But I'm saying
Pogba
Neymar
close,
was
man.
like
It's close. It's
Neymar
close.
was like literally.
I don't think it's close, Don.
Neymar's
I think it
reputation
is,
was
man.
up there with Messi, Ronaldo. Pogba was never Messi, Ronaldo level.
I tell you this. Pogba has a better international legacy. Pogba has a better international legacy than Neymar because Neymar hasn't won a major international trophy.
He never
Even
won a
though he's
World
top goals. He was injured when they won it.
Yeah, but Ram, for me, like personally, like, when I look at Neymar, I think Neymar should have stayed at Barca a little bit longer, man. And if he was going to leave Barca, PSG was the last club to go to, man.
Neymar obviously won a lot of things at Barcelona, which is huge. I don't really care what he won at PSG. He wasn't even that integral with it. He only started about 16 games a bloody season, and no one cares what you win there. But I'm going to go with Pogba because I'm being 110% biased, as in Pogba had the better career of the two. I'm just going to go with my boy on that one.
World Cup tax.
Yeah, exactly. Could be Juventus set him up to get his big wages off the books.
If they did that club 30.
Egal, it's a joke.
I know, but Terry, I believe this. This might be crazy.
And plus, listen. They already have.
Bro. Hang on. Egal, do you believe in Bigfoot, the Tooth Fairy? What else do you believe in?
No. I don't believe in everything, but I do believe Juventus would go to crazy extents to get.
You're delusional, bro. You are delusional.
You see what they tried to do for what's his name? The guy that came from PSG.
You're delusional.
They tried to get rid of him on crazy wages.
You're accusing a football club, one of the most respected football clubs, a historic football club. Well, one of the most historical football clubs in Europe of putting a drug in one of their players' food or drinks.
That sounds wild.
Anybody,
you are delusional.
Any club in world football is accused of a scandal, and I'm gonna believe it. It's probably Juventus.
But they're not being accused of a scandal. You just made it up.
You just made it up. What are you talking about, man?
Egal's out here saying, I think Juve poisoned Pogba.
Allegedly.
I think Juve poisoned Pogba. I'm just. Do you think the mafia did it? Do you think the Don of Turin did it?
Where's the tinfoil hat?
His brothers were after him with some gang members, so you never know. I don't know.
I love you, Egal. You're the best. Honestly, you're the best. You're the best, bro.
Stop watching Netflix, bruv. Stop watching Netflix and get in the real world. Do you know what I mean?
His brothers were after him, though. It's true. It's true.
No, but let's be honest. Italy is kind of corrupt, but fair enough.
Well, I mean, again, a lot of countries have corruption in. I wouldn't just label it at the Italians.
Juventus, not Italy, but Juventus.
You're my guy.
Yeah. Mate, Egal, you crack me up. That's as bad. Who was on the show when Henry Wright, when we mentioned something to do with like Muhammad Ali taking punches, and he went, but that's why he's dead. And I was like, oh my God. I can't believe he's dead.
No one did that. Can't be true.
Yeah, I think he said that Floyd Mayweather is better than Muhammad Ali. And I said, why? He said, well, Muhammad Ali took too many punches to the head. And he went, well, yeah, exactly. That's why he died. We couldn't believe it come out of his mouth. It was a madness comment.
Don't put me in that category.
Egal, do you believe in who? QAnon.
What?
What's that?
I don't know what that is.
You know what? I think hang on. I think I know what QAnon is. Hang on. Oh, QAnon is a far-right American political conspiracy theory and political movement which orient. Yeah, I don't think Egal is part of that. To be honest with you. I don't think that. I don't think they would accept Egal's membership. I think they'd say no. I'm being honest with you, mate. Just because you're a top athlete doesn't mean you won't use illegal substances. Lance Armstrong comes to mind, and many others. Hard to judge two men same age. Take it two different results. I hear you. I do think like Neymar wasted a lot of his career, though. I do. Moving on. I wanted to throw this out. Actually, there's rumors today, according to Midu. I'm throwing it out there, and that Mo Salah has agreed terms to go to Saudi in the summer, and he's going to leave.
Who said that?
Mido.
Him.
Yeah, I call him Midu.
Is he reliable?
Wait,
why is Ram saying him like he's already familiar with his game?
Yeah. I know him. I was like, who the hell's Mido?
Harry, is he a reliable source? Has he broken major stories before?
Well, he's not claiming. He's not claiming. Yeah, he's an ex-footballer. He's an Egyptian footballer. He used to play for Tottenham, actually.
Him? Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah. And he's basically saying, I mean, he'd have been a much better player if he didn't put so much weight on all the time. He just, again, bad decision making. But he has essentially said that he knows through his connections that Mohamed Salah has already signed a pre-agreement with a Saudi club. Are you worried about losing him in the summer?
Yes and no. It depends, because if we end up losing him in the summer and getting a replacement, or maybe even a new manager that comes in doesn't want to use Salah like that. Maybe he wants to play something different. Like if you look at for example, what Alonso plays, he doesn't really play with out and out inside forwards like that. He plays mainly two creative tens in Hoffman and Wirtz. So if it's something along the lines of that, then I wouldn't be too concerned. But again, losing a player like Mo Salah is going to be hard to replace or recreate him. So hopefully if we are going to sell him, we can get some good money for him and we can find the right replacements, because we are losing circa 30 to 40 goals in all comps a season. And that is hard to recreate.
Top 3 replacements for you, Ram. Top 3.
Come back to me later. I don't know.
There you are. I can't lie. I think this was bound to happen. As soon as Klopp was leaving, I already knew Salah was gonna go. I already knew, because I feel like the only reason why he really stayed is because Klopp is there. Because Klopp is there, because of what they built. I don't think he wanted to leave yet, because there was all that Saudi stuff. Saudi are really pushing this because of him and what he is, an Arab footballer. He can be the face of their football league. He's still a very good footballer as well. And listen, it will be massive for them. It will be massive for him as well, to be the face of Arab football, to be a Muslim and be at the front foot of that. I think it's brilliant. And I think he will generally go for it this season. He'll be like, listen, hopefully we can win the league or something like that this season. And then I'm going to go at the end of the season. At least I'm leaving on a high note. But listen, they've already run the League Cup. They got to go for the other trophies. But I really think he's gone at the end of the season.
I'm with Saad, man. I think he's gone as well. When Klopp was announced he's gone, I was like, yeah, Salah's going as well, man. This is like the perfect time for him to leave, So yeah, you just got to hope that you get some big cash, and that you got to get a replacement in. You got to get someone that can replace his goals somehow.
I think the one thing.
Sorry, let me just say this. This is the last dance for Liverpool. Enjoy it. This is your last hurrah. Your chance to try to leave on a high. And the whole team. The whole team is pretty much coming apart. You're gonna have Klopp leaving. Then you're gonna be seeing. Then you're gonna be seeing Van Dijk going. Also, you never know who else could be around the corner. Trent Alexander-Arnold could be looking at Real Madrid. Be like, oh, that's interesting. They got.
That's a dangerous guy, bro.
So it's Mo Salah and Klopp will be the first major domino to see Liverpool going into their new era, which is going to be fighting for top 4 and potentially rebuilding to get their next big.
Do you know what?
at this moment in time, if you were to sell him, you're getting a big cash outlet for a player who's 30. It's amazing, and you guys can probably rebuild a little bit quicker with that sale.
Egal's basically telling us what he tweeted a few weeks ago. He thinks it's now the era of Arteta and Pep. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
Oh,
No, say it, bro.
110%. Listen, Liverpool, first of all, right now we've replaced Chelsea in the top 4. Next, our goal is to replace Liverpool fighting for the league consistently. And then after that is to replace City as the best team in the country. No debate.
3 more phases. I thought we was out of phases.
3 more phases. I thought we're phase 5.
I thought we was done on that, bro.
Hey, you guys are making it seem like these phases aren't realistic. Hey,
Egal, are you not the slightest bit worried? Are you not the slightest bit worried? Because if we do end up getting it right, and say Xabi Alonso does come in,
you're taking
the slightest little bit worried that we might go further and even better what Klopp did, because that is also an option.
Listen, don't take this as disrespect. This is just the honest truth.
I'm asking the question.
Let me say my point before you jump. My point is, I am not worried about Liverpool in the foreseeable future, because at this moment in time, I'm seeing Liverpool going through drastic change, and with drastic change comes regression. From Liverpool Football Club, we're going to see slight regression. I'm not saying they're finished as a club. I'm not doing the whole, they're going to be outside of the top 4. They're going to be finished. Even if you sign the right manager, even if you bring in a replacement for Mo Salah, I don't see Liverpool competing at the top of the table next season verbatim.
Why not?
I slightly agree with that, and I'll tell you for why. Yeah, because the effect that Jurgen Klopp has on a team is very different to an effect. And listen, I don't agree with the whole Liverpool going to drop off massively, or Liverpool going to drop off. I do think there's going to be a slight drop off though. When a new manager comes in, no matter unless you bring in like a world-class manager who has been in the game for years and knows how it is to come into a team, knows how it is to handle his team properly, I think there's going to be a slight drop off from Jurgen Klopp, because that's how much of a great manager he was. So there is going to be a slight drop off, but I don't think it's going to be as mad as to say, like, obviously you guys would drop off out of the title, out of the top 4 race or anything. I think he'll still be within the top 4 race, just for them to get used to his system, and then possibly within the next year or two, you'll probably be back to challenging for titles, especially if you get Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, that's best case scenario though, isn't it, bro?
Excuse me, we're disrespecting
it might take.
You're disrespecting Klopp, thinking that all of a sudden he's going to leave Mo Salah, who's Liverpool's best ever player since Steven Gerrard leave, or some people say he's even better than Steven Gerrard. And you think they're still going to be competitive.
Yes, Egal. No, but did you listen to what I said? I said, okay, for one season they might be out of challenging for the Prems and that. Yeah, let's say for instance, okay, let's put out a story here. Yeah? Xabi Alonso comes to Liverpool in the summer. Yeah. Great, he's the manager now. Okay, 1 year there's a drop off. He gets them in the top 4, in and around them spots, and he implements his style of play with the players. Yeah, he then has a transfer window and he gets them back to challenging for titles. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility, is it?
So I don't think it's out of the realm. You think Xabi Alonso, of course, you rate Xabi Alonso so highly that you think he can come into Liverpool, even though they're going to be changing of the guard and they're going to have a lot of changes behind the scenes, and you think everything's going to be fine.
God, this is my question to you, because you still fail to answer it. Why can you not see that possibility of us going that step further and maybe exceeding what Klopp has done?
No.
Okay. Name me one legendary manager who left and the team was.
Bro, you can't say that.
Bill
Man. You can't
Shankly
say
and Bob Paisley.
Come on, we're talking about back in the days.
Who said give you a manager?
Egal, what it is, yeah.
We're talking about back in the days when football, the kitman would come in and he would take over a generational manager.
Frank Rijkaard and then Pep Guardiola.
Bro, let's be honest. How many years did Liverpool?
I gave you names. I just gave you 2 examples, and you still don't want to hear it.
I know people hate this.
One at a time, guys. One at a time.
I have to land this point. How many people back in the days replaced their legendary manager with kitmen and still won the league? So we can't really compare.
Hang on, Egal. Sorry, I was with you on a lot of this. What kitmen have taken over legendary teams and become legendary managers?
Liverpool had kitmen come over and take over their squad and still win league titles. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll Google search it right now and I'll tell you.
What kitman?
I'll tell you.
Google now, bro. I need to know who this kitman was because I want to shake his hand.
Yeah. Egal, why did you say that, man? Your argument was solid.
You might be right. I just don't never heard about this ever.
That was too funny.
No, I'm serious. I've never heard of this. I want to know who it is.
Just to clarify, then,
manager. He means a caretaker manager that's coming. not necessarily.
Egal, just to clarify, yeah, how hard do you think Liverpool are going to fall there next season? How hard do you think they're going to fall?
He keeps avoiding.
Egal, how hard are Liverpool going to fall next season?
They're gonna be like fighting for top 4.
So they're not going to fall hard.
Yeah,
then all you're just saying is a hyperbole. Then there's just going to be one blip, and then we're going to be back to challenging.
Yeah, I look at that Egal. I think there's a drop off slightly, but you're making it sound like they're going to fall into the abyss. Where what you're really saying is they're going to stub their toe and trip.
I did emphasize that clearly, but I'm saying this is a changing of the guard. This is no longer Liverpool competing for the league consistently, competing for the Champions League consistently. At the top
consistently,
when I say consistently, year after year.
What? So after 1 year of blip, you don't think we're going to come back and challenge year after year?
Can I make this very clear? You've changed your whole midfield. You're now about to get rid of Mo Salah and Jurgen Klopp, and you think in 2 years' time you could potentially compete again?
That new midfield is probably for the next manager.
No, bro, it's not happening.
What do you mean now?
The reality of the situation is
we're playing soccer style, attacking midfielder.
Jurgen Klopp leaves. You're going to realize how much of an imprint he had in the club and how much of the success is down to his brilliance.
You know it is.
And that's why we're putting a director of football in place, and that's why we're going to get a new manager who liaises with that director of football.
And then the double-edged sword.
We were in 2018,
and then the double-edged sword. And then the double-edged sword is you're trying to remove your best player in the Jurgen Klopp era in Mo Salah. With him is going to be nearly impossible.
Egal, I agree. Listen, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Yeah, I do think that Liverpool will probably find themselves in a top 4 sort of thing next season. Yeah, but I feel like you're going a little bit too early with everything that you're saying, because we don't know who they're going to bring in, what manager they're going to bring in. We don't know what replacements are going to come in. You know what I mean? If they go and bring, for example, like a Bowen, I don't think he's at the same level as Salah, obviously, but he still brings in numbers. You know what I mean? Goals and assists, he can still score. If they again bring in a guy like Xabi Alonso, that's dangerous. You know, let's not act as if the league's full of world-class managers. The only world-class managers really is Pep and Klopp. And then after that, you've got your level down, which is Arteta and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I think you're going a little bit too early, man. You have to see what they do in the summer. You know what I'm saying?
I think even if you look at Xabi Alonso and you look at what he's done with Bayer Leverkusen, like let's say obviously he wins the league now, and he comes into Liverpool, I don't think it's completely out of the realm of possibilities for him to get his players or keep whatever players he wants and get rid of the other players that he wants to get rid of, getting some new players to fit his system. It looks like from what he's shown at Bayer Leverkusen, it looks like he's got a pretty good grasp of what his style of play is, how to implement it. He's got plan A, plan B. So if they do get Xabi Alonso, I think they could be within 2 years. They could be back to challenging with Xabi Alonso. I rate him as much as a coach.
Using your hypothetical, Salah doesn't work in Alonso's system because he doesn't play those kind of wingers. He doesn't.
Yeah. I think Salah is going to leave. So I'm not including Salah.
No, but then that just adds on to the point that if a player doesn't work in your system and he leaves and you get more money for him and invest it into good players.
If Egal ends up being right, and he could be. It could be. Then it shows that the infrastructure at Liverpool over the last 7-8 years hasn't been particularly good. It shouldn't fall down when a manager leaves. Man United's infrastructure wasn't very good, and what the 2 people left that run it, and the whole thing fell apart. As an example, Chelsea's situation, it wasn't actually being run very well even before Roman left, because if you're a well-oiled machine, new people can come in and pick up the reins and take over. If you're not, then it all hell breaks loose, because essentially it's you ever seen like those shows where someone moves a fridge and there's like a cockroaches behind them and it all goes crazy and goes mad? That's what badly run clubs are like. You unearth a few things and it all starts falling apart. And I don't know. I just think that I think Liverpool are going to be all right. I agree with Egal that there's going to be a drop off. I don't think there is no manager in the world that's going to replace Klopp, because I think he's the second best manager in the world. There's going to be a drop-off. I just think you're going to become a little bit more human for a few years. But I still think you're in the top 4. I still think you can win any of the cup competitions that you were in. And who knows, though? I mean, Alonso could take you to another level, potentially.
Yeah,
That's the example in your history where it's happened before you mentioned it. It was Shankly and Paisley. Paisley won more trophies. Paisley won the 3 Champions Leagues. And I'm not taking anything away from Paisley, but listening to Liverpool fans, what Bill Shankly built in the years before it was the long-standing foundation and infrastructure that allowed Paisley to come in and deliver. You know, I'm not taking it for, you know, it's a.
And Terry,
The word is meant to be a football club. When you're a leader at a football club, it's about stewardship. Is a really important thing. Leaving the club in a better situation than you arrived in. And if you genuinely do that, if you genuinely do that, it's a little different in their era because those guys actually run the clubs. It's changed in the last 20 years where the manager doesn't just run the club, the director of football does as well. So there is a little bit of a difference now. But I just don't think. I think Liverpool are a well-run club. So I just think there'll be I think there's going to be a good transition, but with a drop off.
Terry, I think also what Egal makes the point of like Salah leaving, Van Dijk apparently is going to be leaving along with Trent. He forgets that we've had great players leave our club. We've had Torres leave our club and we signed Suarez. We have Gerrard retire and we still end up winning trophies. Like we've had great players, like Keegan, and then Dalglish came along.
Don't use Torres. Don't use Torres as an example because that guy was finished. We
stole Torres and we signed a cannibal instead, and look what happened. I mean, he was pretty good, Luis Suarez. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? There's people come and go, but we've been okay. Liverpool have still been there or thereabouts.
You were never. He's left. My point is, you were never this good. Let's be honest, Liverpool in the 30 years, you were good at times, but you were never as good as under Jurgen Klopp. In those years that you've had Jurgen Klopp, those 7 years, this has been your golden generation for the last 30 years, in my opinion. And if you were to replace Jurgen Klopp and the best player in that team and potentially your best ever club center back, these are potential possibilities this season that you guys are telling me you're still going to be fine in the foreseeable future. I'm not saying your club is finished. I'm just merely saying you're not going to be expected to have the expectations of competing for the league, expected to have the expectations of competing for the Champions League as you do this season. That's all. Is that crazy? No. And is it possible that you guys could be competitive? Yes. But is it possible that you're going to be as good? I don't think so. I think that's out of the realm of possibility.
Okay, we think it's going to be only like a season, maybe season or maybe a season and a half.
No, I think you think that football is instant success, like Chelsea did, and you're going to be quickly.
No, it's not, Egal.
That's not what we're saying.
You're going to quickly find out that even 2 years to think you're going to be back to where you are right now is going to be too difficult.
Egal, the only thing I think you're missing here is that Liverpool are not in trouble. If, for instance, Liverpool would, so
you weren't in trouble under Sir Alex.
No, but their squad was aging. But we were behind this. This is the difference. We won trophies in the 9 years that Fergie worked with the Glazers because Fergie still had a large amount of control. Fergie left, and then the Glazers put all their people in to run the club, and it fell apart pretty quickly. So if Klopp leaves, and then FSG turn around and go, right, we're going to go and hire all of our banker friends and commercial people to run the football club, then I agree with you. They're going to fall apart. They're absolutely going to fall apart. But I don't believe they're going to do that. Liverpool don't need a rebuild in the same way that Man United right now need one. In the same way that Arsenal needed one 4 years ago. The same way that City needed one from the day they were taken over because of where they sat in the pyramid of football. Liverpool are right up by the top. And there may be a small drop-off. But Liverpool fans should be demanding and should expect instant success. They should be demanding, challenging for all the domestic trophies, finishing in the top four and being competitive in the league at least year one. And they should be demanding by year two, whoever comes in with what they spend is challenging for Premier League titles. There's no way that they should be going, it's another 3 to 4 year process again. That's only happens when your team's been in the doldrums at our level of the game. You can't be competing for the league every year, pretty much.
I need to respond to Terry so you understand my point. Okay. Terry, your Manchester United team had a player who carried your squad offensively. Liverpool have a player who carries their squad offensively in Mo Salah. Your team at the time had a bedrock.
No, it's not though, Egal. That's not true.
Hang on, let him finish. I don't get the point so far.
Your team at the time, you said behind the scenes didn't have that good of a people behind the scenes. Liverpool have to reshape the people behind the scenes because they have a lot of them have been chopping and changing and leaving. They after the guy left, their main man left, the second in command also left, and right now they're trying to get him back. So if they can get the backroom staff going on, your premise stands, Terry. But at this moment in time, I don't believe Liverpool's backroom staff is being put together correctly. I think Jurgen Klopp
based on what are you basing that on? What's wrong with the people they have at the club right now?
This is what I'm basing it on. Okay, number one, their transfers their transfer strategy lately looks good, but I think it's a lot down to Jurgen Klopp's transfers. I think everything is down to Jurgen Klopp. I think the people behind the scenes listen to Jurgen Klopp, and he calls all the shots. So when he leaves, they don't have the structure to support another manager like they did when Jurgen Klopp came in. At this moment in time, I don't know who the director of football is, but he's the third now in a span of 4 years that have come in to the position.
No, but it's
So
everyone.
I think Jurgen Klopp had more position of power, and if he is to leave, it's a similar situation to Sir Alex leaving, and a similar situation to Arsene Wenger leaving, where he controls majority of the power.
No, it's not, Egal. It's not.
But this is
what at the club. It's
let's let Ram, the Liverpool fan, respond.
It's been all about the team, the overall team, the scouting departments. Everyone's been involved with it. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp has a say with those players because he has to make sure those players.
Who came in after Michael Edwards?
It was Julian Ward.
Where is he?
He's an Ajax. What's your point?
My point exactly. Who's this new guy?
Your point?
No, what's the point?
My point is, Michael Edwards helped build this team. The second in command to Michael Edwards also left this team. Who is the person who's behind the scenes right now? How much power does he actually have?
Well, he's the one that's going out in the transfer zone. And if you want to know it, Gal, Alexis McAllister was signed by Julian Ward. So what's your point?
I think Jurgen Klopp has a lot more power behind the scenes.
Based on what? Where are you getting that information from to make you think that?
Based on the fact that they've had so much changeover behind the scenes, Terry.
But where have you read this? You can't just surmise it. Where have you read it? What's indicated it?
Terry, Michael Edwards left the club. The second
find out your source, man. You're finding out a lot of background information today.
Terry, it's quick.
You know what I mean?
Just put 2 and 2 together. Michael Edwards left the club. The second in command is now supposed to help run the club and the transfers. He also left the club. And now you're seeing Liverpool making all these signings, and you're hearing the recommendations from their second keeper, their assistant manager is making the recommendations for some of these signings, like the Gakpos of the world. So I personally think Michael Edwards leaving, his second in command leaving, Jurgen Klopp is running the club, and their current CEO.
I get you. Someone in the comments says it's an opinion, Terry. I get it's an opinion, but opinions can be wrong, and opinions have to be based on.
My opinion is based on the manager.
Yeah, let me finish speaking. An opinion has to be based on something, at least loosely factual. Like we all,
Terry, wait, hold on. Someone said he got info in his nap.
Terry, why did Michael Edwards and this other man leave? I genuinely believe the reason why they left was because Jurgen Klopp wanted more power in the transfers. And since then, I think more of the signings have been his signings rather than the club signings.
And mate, look, again, it's an interesting theory. I think there could be some element of truth to it. But I think there's a little bit, Egal, of like hopium in there. A little bit of hopium. A little bit of this is what Fran, we're going to move on just because interest of time. We've got a lot of super chats to get through here. This says FSG might finally sell with Klopp leaving and not put any more money into the club. Could affect their recovery if they're in limbo. But if they do that and start going backwards, they're going to get less money for the club. So it wouldn't make sense for business people that ultimately want to make money to do that. Egal lives in the realm of possibility. That's actually quite a funny super chat, to be fair. This Liverpool team can only win under Klopp. They won't compete for the league for at least 3 years.
But this is what I don't get, because people forget about our players and compare it to the United team, like what Egal did. The United team was aging. Like Ferdinand was like 30, 33, 34. Our players, Konate is 24, 25. Szoboszlai, 22. McAllister, 25. They're all hitting the prime of their career.
By the way, we also brought in David Moyes, and it was a mistake. If we'd have gone and done what we should have done and got Klopp or Pep to come in, I think things would have been better because they would have brought. But
Terry, my point is the situation with when a new manager comes in, he's not going to have an aging squad like what Moyes had.
I hear you. James here says, look at Arsenal's 2 years after the Invincibles and the squad had been stripped and top 4 was the limit for 2 decades. This could happen to Liverpool. But is Liverpool's squad being stripped?
And there's a reason behind that.
No,
there was a reason
Egal, very quickly, you say, like, yes, their squad's being stripped. They might lose Mo Salah. Who else are they being stripped of?
Terry, in 2 years' time, you're going to be doing Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid. the whole summer.
He's not going Madrid. He's not going Madrid.
Okay,
I can categorically say it.
Hang on a minute. Fine, but that's 2 years' time.
Who's your source? Who's your source?
Van Dijk himself came out.
Trent
verbatim and said,
Alexander-Arnold.
"We'll see." You've seen Van Dijk himself said we will see with his future, basically opening the possibility of him leaving the club. And he is rumored to be a Barcelona fan. Then you have Mo Salah also being rumored to leave. Alisson is not a spring chicken. How old is he?
But even when Alisson's fine, but even when you look at it though, you've got Conor Bradley coming through that looks absolutely sensational. You've got Kwanzaa at the club. They've got Konate they've signed. Liverpool have always been able to sign people. Liverpool can just buy replacements. They can buy replacements.
Tell him again.
That's why replacements doesn't mean you're going to be automatically up there again.
Yeah,
it could be better. Could be
if
better.
that was the case, your club better.
No, but you're using examples of clubs that we can see for a long period of time have been run poorly. There's no evidence that Liverpool have been run poorly. There's no evidence that they're not going to bring good people in to run the club. It's a theory which could end up happening.
Here's my evidence.
But there is no evidence. Your hope is an opinion, and you're guessing that's going to happen. It's like, what's the expression? If you throw enough shit, some of it will stick. But the comparisons between United and Chelsea and Liverpool are off because there is no comparison with how our clubs have been run for the last decade.
But one thing there is a comparison to when you have a legendary manager leave your club, you do see slight regression, and that was my main point, Terry.
Slight regression. Everybody's agreed with,
and then. To build sustained success,
it's the continuous stuff. It's the continuous stuff.
To build sustained success, obviously, Liverpool are going to need not only a great manager, but they're going to need to find that next goal scorer that's like a Mo Salah. They don't have that in their squad at this moment in time.
Yeah, and they probably even though Liverpool were poor for 30 years, Liverpool have consistently had goal scorers your entire life, Egal. From the day you were born, what year were you born?
91.
91. So they've had Rush, they've had Fowler, they had Owen. They then went on to, they had Fernando Torres, there's Suarez, Mo Salah now. Like for your whole lifetime, Liverpool have replaced goal scorers. Like it's one of those things where I just don't get why. I don't think Liverpool fans are going to sit there and go, oh my God, our club's in trouble because a few people leave the Liverpool Football Club.
Terry, I've been here for what? We've been doing content together for maybe 3-4 years now. Hopefully we'll be together for another 2-3 years. And by then, when this is proven right, we'll come back to this and I'll be proven right. And if I'm wrong, I'll put my hands up.
Okay.
Sweet. Some more. Welcome, Roy. We've got some more super chats here. Egal, Real Madrid are coming for Saliba in 2 years. This could happen as well. Egal is making me question my Egal is a walking lawsuit with the stuff he says. No, it's an opinion. You can't get in trouble for an opinion. Especially on football. It's not like he's saying he ain't accusing Jurgen Klopp of doing doing up a Neverland or something. It's time for Salah to go anyway. Maybe even Robbo, but Egal talking rubbish. Even our dross years, we was winning more Champions League than little Arsenal, is what Woodsy says here. Depends on how Liverpool replace Klopp. Too early to say if Sir Alex Ferguson's situation. A lot of this hinders on how the board manages the situation. That's a very fair point. I think Egal is right to say that. As a Gooner, I've seen so much trolling and bants from rivals, and then Egal goes full troll mode, giving rivals more ammo. It ain't black and white. Footy is cyclical, but Liverpool ain't going anywhere. Come on, you Gooners.
Come on, you Gooners.
It's never been that easy. Look at United. Again, though, I agree. If they have bankers and accountants and marketing staff running their football club next year, then I will completely agree with Egal. It's going to fall apart.
But they're following the right steps. You can see from the news articles.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. But this is the point. It's you can only use the Man United example if there is any proof that Liverpool are going to go the same road we did and have bankers and unqualified people running the club. If they're not doing that, it's a false equivalence off the bat. It dies on its arse straight away. That Paul Pogba conspiracy stuff. Careful, mate. Egal said it. Not the Football Terrace did not endorse that message. There we go. The Football Terrace Limited does not endorse this message. It's him over there. It's my guy. Another week. Another time. Egal goes completely over the top. Man never just sits back and watches things unfold. Always jumps the gun. We've done nothing to be calling for the downfall of other clubs.
Egal's like that older brother. Not Egal. Tevin's like your older brother, bro. He's always telling you to pattern up. Relax.
Just to make it clear to my fellow Gunner there, I didn't call for the downfall. I'm just predicting that they are not going to be as good as they currently are after Klopp's era and Mo Salah's era.
Nah,
That's
you
not
predicted the downfall, mate. Predicted the downfall.
Guess what? It's going to come eventually, but I'm not saying that's going to happen.
We don't replace Salah. Can't happen. I would say this now. You can't replace Mo Salah. They're going to have to look for a different option. That's the safe. Man United tried for that 3 or 4 years to replace Roy Keane. It was always going wrong. So then we went for Michael Carrick, a completely different type of football player. Thank you, by the way, Kate, for him. He was great. And it worked very, very well. We'll come back to the Super Chats a little bit later in the show. Please make sure like buttons are smashed. Please make sure you're subscribing. Now is the best time to tell you about our title sponsors on the show tonight. Do you know what? I'm not that used to wear an Apple Watch. My phone rings. My arm starts vibrating. Keep thinking it's my what do you call the thing with money? A heart. What's it called?
Heart monitor.
No, but it's not word. No, they call it the readings. I want to call it a GPS. It's not. It's got ECG. I have like an ECG thing built into this. So when it vibrates, I'm panicking that my heart's stopping, which is stupid because if my heart stopped, I wouldn't be able to panic. But there we go. Big up to Match Bingo, our title sponsors of the show today. They've got a massive, massive cash prize to give away this weekend in the Manchester Derby. Over £2,000 is the current prize. Get it downloaded now. It's so simplistic to play. When you click on it, you can buy bingo cards. And I've got 2 bingo cards for the Man City, Man United game. You can see them here. And this is how they look. There's some elements in red that you see. Man United have got to do these things, and that's win corners. They've got to score a goal, actually, for me to win on this one. And then there's other things in the middle that are neutral. So there needs to be a yellow card shown in the second, 12th, 22nd, 32nd, 42nd, 52nd minute, etc. See another card here that I have that shows that any goal awarded has to be a minute with the 1 basically at the end of it as well. It's a really fun game during football matches. I absolutely love it. We've already had a lot of Football Terrace users win some nice prizes this year. So get it downloaded ahead of this weekend. Action-packed football. You've got to be over the age of 18. You've got to live in the UK. You can scan the QR code on the screen or click on the link in the description below. And speaking of the Manchester Derby, Lewis, how confident on a scale of 1 to 10 are you of slapping Man United this weekend?
Well, we absolutely should slap them. Yeah, I think everyone on this panel will agree that City should slap them. United are a shocking team. I don't even think like United can play for a point because obviously United are like I don't think United can come to City and do what they did at Anfield because United need to try and get in the top 4. So that should leave us space. We should, slap United up at least 3 or 4 now. Now, obviously, football's never that simple. It's a derby, blah, 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 standard caveats. Anything can happen. But obviously, I was very, very encouraged about our performance against Luton Town, the way that we moved the ball, and that was probably the best we've done all season. So, yeah, man, like we're in great form. Like some people don't think it, but we're actually in great form. Like, I think we've won 15 out of our last 17 matches, which is phenomenal. We should be smashing United, man. We should be smashing United. And I think we kind of need to because we need a bit of a statement win. You know, we've scraped by a couple of wins recently in the Prem. Our goal difference stinks compared to Arsenal who are playing Sheffield United. So that's going to get even worse. So like we kind of need to slap United by 3 or 4 minimum, really. So yeah, I'm confident. I'm 100% confident. But yeah, let's see what happens, man. And obviously at United, like I'm seeing every 5 minutes I go on Twitter, like apparently now Maguire's out for the game as well. Haaland's out for the game. You've got no left back. Like, I don't know what's going on with your injuries.
Bro, listen, man. Don't worry, man. We're still crossing these fingers, bro. United, inshallah, you do something for me. You know what I mean? You got slapped at OT. You got slapped at OT. But listen, weirder things have happened, bro. Weirder things have happened. I got belief in these boys, man. They can go and do something for us, man. They can go.
Don't trust.
Chelsea can do it. If Chelsea can do it,
nah.
All right. If Chelsea can do it, bro, hey, anything can happen.
Bro, listen. Nah. We're talking about a team. Only Sheffield United has conceded more shots against them. Yeah, we're talking about a team that on average concede about 20 shots a game, and they've got Erling Haaland. Did you see that little assist that KDB got for Haaland the other day? He didn't even look. He just played it to him and he ran, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be long. It's gonna be long for these lot because Man City they create chances, and every single team in this league, everyone that plays against Man United, all you need is a basic shape, and you should finish in boots and you'll win the game. And that's what that's what City have in abundance. You know what I'm saying? And I still feel sick that we lost against these, man, because they're terrible. You know what I'm saying? So
we're better than you. We are better than you. This is just sitting all that shit.
You can have it. You can have it. But I'll be there. I'll be there this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Rubbing my hands, seeing how many goals Haaland can score this weekend. Do you know what I mean?
Pigeon chest down there. Do you know what I mean? Giving it. Jesus Christ. Do you know what I mean?
Terry, you can project all of that towards me, yeah, but you know deep down you were scared.
Zero projection. I know how bad my team is, but hearing you speak with that much chest and authority when you're sitting 11th in the league after spending £1 billion and
so you're deflected.
No, I'm not deflecting.
You're deflected. That's who you are.
I didn't deflect because the first thing I said is my team are awful. So the first thing I addressed was how bad my team is. Yeah. I'm just talking about you as a person here. I'm doing a little bit of an ad hominem attack. It isn't about the point. It's that you. It's you saying all that chest. Whenever it comes to your football team, you're like, no. We're great. No.
That's a lie.
No. That's a lie. You say that a lot. And then you go at Man United. We ain't going to win this game. We ain't going to draw this game.
I won't go at United because you're terrible.
We're probably going to get battered, but we are terrible. You don't have that energy for your own club. You sit there defending. You sit there saying you wouldn't take Martinelli over fucking Mihajlo Mudryk.
I wouldn't.
Jesus Christ.
I wouldn't take him over that. Well, I'm not going to get back into that anyway. Back to United, like I was saying. Back to United, like I was saying. Honestly, LB, this weekend, yeah, I want to see a bigger scoreline than what you got at Anfield. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What happened to them at Anfield? Yeah, I'm trying to see a bigger scoreline than that because you are gonna get a lot of chances over there. You know what I'm saying? And United are a mess. They're a mess. You know what I mean? So make sure you deal with them because I can't deal with these guys.
I hope so, bro. I hope so. And we need the goals as well. You know what I mean? Because Arsenal are slamming everyone. So we need to.
One thing I'll tell you, I do think all the pressure obviously is on City. No pressure on Manchester United, meaning that they can go and set up extremely negative.
That's not true.
Oh, no,
United.
No.
United are going for top four.
You are the clear.
No, we're not.
No, they're not. LB, don't try it.
I'm not. They can get in there.
Off the drop points against Fulham, they are looking at this game and they're looking at it with all the injuries, all the players out, and they're saying to themselves, all the pressure is on City. City have to go there and they have to win. You guys have to go and slap as many goals as possible. Everything is on you. They just need to show up and make sure they can keep the score down and stay in the game and potentially be able to nick something, a draw, a win, whatever it is. But overall, the pressure is on Manchester City. You have to go into this game off the back of what you did against who was it in the FA Cup?
Luton.
After what you did against Luton, you have to look at Manchester United and say, we're going to put 1, 2, 3 past you. But for them, they're going to be looking at you and they're going to say, we're going to keep it close to the goal. We're going to set up a lowest block, play well defensively, and if we get out of there with a 0-0, they shake your hand and they say good night. That's what they're going to be doing.
Look what happened.
LB is trying to be humble about this. LB, you're similar to Daps. You're similar to Daps.
Bro, I'm saying that we should slap them up. I'm saying we should 100% slap them up. We need to slap them up. I want at least 3 or 4 because we need it, and I think if we play our game, we will.
5 minimum, please.
I'm all for projecting. If Chelsea can do it, United can do it, but. I don't see it. I really don't see United doing anything against. It's at the Etihad as well. Like I honestly don't see it.
Ram, don't use us as an example.
All I'm going to say to you is that
Rory. I just want to hear Rory for a second. Go on, Rory.
Yeah, I sat here before the Chelsea City game and gave it the whole, I could see Chelsea get something out of this, and for X, Y, and Z reason, I can't. I'm struggling to see any way of justifying that United get anything. And if Egal's right and City are under pressure, then that's probably just going to make the result even worse because City under pressure are normally a better team than when they're not under pressure. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty hopeless.
Yeah, I agree. I think I agree where Gal's coming from. I don't think City are under pressure. There's just more pressure on them than there is Man United because when our manager saying we're going for top 4, but we're not. Everything about Man United right now is gearing up for the summer and next season. And even the players, rightly or wrongly, I think some of them are it's like going through the motions until the summer comes. So some are going to be sold and some of them probably already know that. Others know that what the world's going to start again and kick off. And it's just that's why I'm still glad we're in the FA Cup. At least we've got something competitive. Every Premier League game now for me is just I want the players really to try and treat it as an audition. But yeah, look, I want to believe that we can win. I hope we can nick something just because not even for Man United, which is strange. I hope we do it just to make the title race more fun. Genuinely, like I look at my season and when it comes to the league, and even if we were to win, we're still not going to make it into the Champions League next year. We're just not good enough, and we just haven't been good enough. And I'm very, it's very simplistic for me and easy for me. It's a very simple thing for me to admit. We're not good, and there are some Man United fans online that they do a little bit of a don when it comes to Chelsea, and they're always defending it, and it will turn out fine.
That's just cat, man. The clips are there. I haven't been confident in this team for months. Hang on a minute. We're not going to do that, Terry. We're not going to keep running that narrative.
Don. Everybody, Don. You have consistently at times. What you do, you're very smart. Okay, this is where me and you are different. I will just say exactly what I think in no uncertain terms, so you can be called out on it. What you do, you are like a specialist lawyer. So you use language like, for instance, this. You'll turn around and go, I wouldn't swap Martinelli for Haaland Madrid.
I wouldn't. I gave my reason why I wouldn't.
Let me finish my point. You turn around and say, I wouldn't swap Haaland Madrid for Martinelli. I think Mudryk has more to his game than Martinelli. I think he does X better than Martinelli, Y better than Martinelli. I think he has this element of his game that hasn't been unearthed yet, and why I think he's a brilliant star. So I wouldn't swap him. You say everything, but I think Mudryk is better. And then when people say, oh, you think Mudryk's better, you say, show me where I said that. Now, in a court of law, you'd win, okay? But in reality, we all know what you're
going through this again.
No, you don't need to go through it again, because you will be able to prove yourself right with the words that you have spoken.
Yes, so listen to the words then. You're struggling to comprehend what I'm saying.
No, life isn't just about the words, it's about the language, but it's about the meaning and what you imply.
Yes.
So the way you just spoke about Man United, we all agree with. Absolutely. But whenever you talk about Chelsea, it's never that direct, it's never with that language. And as soon as somebody says something like that about Chelsea, you jump home with, and this is the way you do it. It's no. I've got to step on that one, and you start defending it in some way, shape, or form. I just find it hilarious. I just find it funny.
That narrative. That narrative is just boring because I haven't been confident in this team for months. And if you go, everything is here. If you're gonna go back to the Terrace and go watch go watch all the games against Brentford. Go watch the game against no. Ram. Hold on a second. Let me land my point, bro. Go watch it against Newcastle. Go watch it against Man United when we played you lot, and go listen to how I was talking about my team at that point. Yeah, guys are going on here like I was coming on here with bare chest saying, yeah, we're definitely gonna win. I come on here weekly. I have not been confident in months in my team.
Your reasoning behind it is because of Orange.
I'm not hearing that.
I'll just say this, Don. 7 days ago,
2-1 Chelsea. Because right now, bro, you won't get a better opportunity to beat these man. But game like Poch won't get a better opportunity. These players won't get a better opportunity. Because let's be real, Liverpool have been weakened. You know what I mean? They've been weakened. But how I look at it,
7 days ago you had chest.
Bro, wait, hold on. So you want me to predict that we're going to lose in a final against a bunch of kids?
But I'm just telling you, Don, just how it comes across in a lot of streams. You have a lot of chest for your team all the time and your players all the time.
I've got to disagree with that, man. I ain't been confident in this team for months, and you know that as well. Whether you want to flip that or not, that's fine. Innit? I ain't had confidence in the team in months.
You love to pin it on Pochettino. That's your main denominator.
I do like to pin it on
Enzo like this. If Poch played Caicedo like this, if Poch played Nkunku like this.
Listen, just because hold on, just because you don't want to listen to my take on my team and how this manager can improve, that's fine. That's my take on my team. I believe this manager has been shit 90% of the season, and I haven't been confident in my team because of him. Do you know what I'm saying?
And what you would do in a preview, instead of just saying what you said there about Man United by saying, because we've got him as manager, I've got no confidence. What you'll do is you'll say, if we get it right on the day, though, we'll win and we'll do this and we'll do that. So what you do, you find a way of praising Chelsea without saying
examples of it. But hold on, Terry, you're the same person that was saying that Chelsea were looking scary at the start of the season. So why are we acting as if I'm the only person that was looking at us and how we improved?
But I'm not denying that you did look. Your football looked really good in preseason. And in the first 2 or 3 months of the season, it looked really, really good. There's no doubt about that.
So what's the issue? What's the issue with me saying that if our manager sets us up correctly, we've got a better chance of winning games? What's the issue with me saying that?
For your players.
Because
hold on, Ram. I've come on here and argued with Chelsea fans, that I've tried to blame Poch on streams, and I'm like, listen, today the players were missing bare chances. That is not on Poch. In-game management could have been better, but the players should have been better. No one's going to tell me that I come on here week after week and only crashing it on Poch. Talking about both. We're not doing that. We're not doing that narrative. We're not doing that.
Don, there's nothing wrong with what you're saying. I just found it funny for a team that's in a worse position than Man United, having a worse season than Manchester United, after investing more than us. When you speak, there's always a nuance and a reason and a this and a that. With Man United, it's just, absolute shit. They're going to get bashed up and I want it to happen.
You've been shit all season.
Yeah, and so have you. You're 11th. So,
Terry, so why did you call it scary?
Because you were looking
scary then.
I'll tell you why. Because your football was looking good. And what I thought was going to happen.
There we go then.
Hang on a minute. No. There's no there we go. That doesn't stop. What we're talking about now, how you talk about Man United versus now how you talk about.
That's the last time I was talking with Chess about my team.
A week ago. 1 week.
Me saying we're gonna win 2-1. It's me speaking with Chess because they've got a bunch of kids. It's me speaking with Chess.
Bro, you still believe
you heard my take. I said surely we have to beat them. We're not gonna go into a final, with me looking at that team and looking at who we've got available and who they had missing. No one is gonna look at that and say it's a wild take for me to say we can beat them. And I said 2-1. I didn't say we're gonna beat them 4-0.
I
said 2-1.
Let me answer Terry's question with one question. If the manager was sacked today, do you believe another manager could get you top 4 with this squad?
No, not top 4. It's too late for top 4. What are you talking about? It's too late for that.
I thought you were going to say yes, because knowing you believe this squad is...
No, I've been Rory's on me. Rory's on never a foul with me. Week after week, I kept speaking about Poch. I said, if he carries on setting us up like this, we will not get top 6. I even came on the terrace. Talking about that. So we're not going to switch things now.
And Don, I'm not switching things. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I just said what I find hilarious when you speak about Man United, and I think it's because they're the only team really that you can try and dig at to try and lessen the blow for the embarrassment you're going through, is that you apply no nuance and no reason into why they're bad or why it would go wrong or what could go good for them, but you do it consistently with Chelsea. And I understand they're your club, but obviously we're on a channel where we speak about multiple teams, and I just find it hilarious.
Team weekly.
Yeah, I know you watch. Yes, I know.
Your best performance came up against us.
Don, I am going to move on because you're not hearing my point. It's
because what you're saying right now, Terry, you're saying to me.
Don, let me ask. I want to move on. Let me ask you a question. Is there no nuance to why we're crap?
What do you mean by nuance?
Is there no reasons, nuance, or excuses for why we're bad, like there is with you and Chelsea?
Of course there is. And I've spoken about them, about your manager. I've spoken about your players. Have I not?
But I'm just saying that when you speak United, like you just did, none of that's mentioned. It's all just shit stuff, and I found it hilarious coming from a Chelsea fan.
How many times? Okay, it doesn't matter if I'm a Chelsea fan or not. We're all football fans here, yeah. No, how many times do we talk about? Hold on.
The way you do things matters, yeah.
Hold on, Terry. Yeah. How many times do we come on here week after week speaking about United scraped it? Yeah, you lot are angry with, even though you've got a result, you would have thought that you lost. Yeah,
yes.
Staffy's been crashing it for your team in months. Yeah,
yes.
If it was the same thing with us, Terry, you would have never called us scary. Yeah, because at the start of the season, it was looking good. It was looking better than United.
The football didn't look good. Yes,
the football was looking good, and like I said, I lost confidence in the team months ago, especially after the international break. So when I was saying to you at the beginning, we're better than you, is because we was looking better than you. But when you beat us, I said we're in a crisis, and you literally cooked me on here.
No, I know.
A win, you know.
Don,
all of that.
I'll be honest. I want to get back to the derby, but I will say this: I still think you're missing the point that I was making. And I know that at the beginning of the season, your football looked good because I said it looked good, and then it started to look really bad, and I said it looked bad. I'm just talking about the way you speak about Man United when you think we're going to lose versus the way you speak negatively about your club. Is just really different. Let's get back to this though here. Yes. This says, would you believe this segment is about the derby? Kate, I wanted to go to you next about the derby. Can you make a case for Man United taking anything away from City or not?
Do you know what? I've been here an hour and 20 minutes. I don't think I've ever heard so much crap in my life. With Egal waffling, I was telling you what, Egal, with all due respect, you are the reason other fans hate Arsenal. You are exactly that reason. You give it so much. You give so much chest when you haven't really won anything to do it. You try and mug all the other clubs off. Honestly, you've got so much. And Don, all you do is defend your team and your players all the time. You shouldn't even be on the top 6 show. You're not even a top 10 club. You're pony. But anyway, going back to the derby, no, I can't make a case for Man United, but I hope the football gods are listening because LB is expecting 3 or 4, and I would absolutely love for Man United to get a point at this weekend. But do I see it happening? Not in a million years. I think City are too strong. And Man United have got quite a few injuries, and Haaland's looking fierce again. So, yeah.
If we do, how embarrassing, LB, would it be if Man United get a result?
Oh, bloody hell, fold the club. Yeah, it'd be mad. And listen, like, we're all under pressure here, yeah? Like, if City don't win the game, we have to beat Anfield. We have to beat Liverpool at Anfield. Like, that becomes a necessity. We have to beat Arsenal at home. We have to beat Villa, because these are our next games. Yeah, we got a mad run now. Like, we can't afford to drop any points. And obviously, Arsenal are in the same position, but they've got Sheffield United. Like, we're all in the same position now. Like, I think the title race this year is insane. Like, it's for a neutral, it must be amazing. Like, you're literally watching football matches where any team slips up. Like, maybe bar Liverpool have a draw in them. Like, maybe a loss at the max. But City and Arsenal, we don't have any. Like, there's no room for error. So the pressure on these games is absolutely unreal. Which is kind of why I'm like, at one hand, I'm like, we need to slap them up 3 or 4. But if you offer me a 1-0 right now, I'm shaking your hand 100% and taking it.
You're scared, eh?
Not scared. Not scared. Scared for Man United.
Scared.
I think we'll win the game.
No, I'm not saying you're scared of Manchester United. You're scared of your fixtures in March.
Pardon?
Egal, City fans do this humble thing, man. They deep down they know what I'm going. Daps does it as well.
I know.
They know
Right?
what's going on.
Slap him,
They try reel you in with this. Oh yeah, you know we're in a tight position. We got this game. We got that game.
Yeah,
I literally just said I think we'll slap them up. I don't know what you want me to say.
Next thing you know, LB, the next 5 games they blitzed them 5-0 every single team, and he's like, oh well, you know this is
after the Manchester.
Yeah, this is what we do. This is what we do.
After the Manchester United game, watch him. He's gonna have a picture of Haaland lifting the trophy again.
It's crazy. These City fans are jokers. Or like the way they
what
try
did
to
you
get
say after the losing game? You said you're back or something?
We ain't been back. We ain't been anywhere. We won 15 out of 17 games. What are you talking about?
Oh, fair.
There it is. There's
the real.
That's split, man.
There's the real LB. There's the real LB, bro. He just came out.
He's back. It's a leap year, guys. He didn't realize.
Just know a lot of people are triple captain in Haaland. They're not even waiting for double game week again.
We will be there. We will be there.
I'm not even gonna lie. I am sitting here hoping the football gods are listening. I'm telling you, just because. But they did it. The problem is they did it for Don's boys. They did it for Chelsea. They did it for Chelsea when everybody wrote them off, and I don't know if they're going to do it two times in the space of a month. But it would be amazing. It would be amazing. But I doubt it. We've got some more super chats here, and then I've got some really sad news to tell everyone. Don basically goes to chat GPT and writes, I think Mudryk is better than Martinelli. Please rephrase this in a way to say it without exactly saying it.
Rubbish.
Don, I will say this to you and we all should take feedback. I take feedback as well. The fact that most of the viewers and most of the panelists all go, nah, bro, we spend a lot of time defending Chelsea. I'd take that on board.
My problem is what he's saying.
Don't change, Don. We love you, bro. We love you.
I'm gonna come on here and just crash it on everyone,
bro. No, but Don, Tel could do the exact same thing.
I love it.
Say that again, son.
I said Tel can do the exact same thing. He can come out and say, well, listen, if Ten Hag sets us correctly, if he plays Maino in the correct position, if he gets the wingers right, and he manages to put us out there and play a consistent style of play, we could actually win these games. We could actually and they could carry on doing that.
But you're saying that, yeah, but you're missing the point. There is clear evidence where we've been set up well this season and played well. And then he goes back and does something where it doesn't work.
But there is clear evidence at Man United over the last 18 months that when we've set up in the right shapes and we've done the right things, we've won big games because we have won some, not so much away from home. But yeah, look, I do get it. But yeah, That was my brother copy.
I just didn't expect Poch. I didn't expect Poch to carry on doing the fuckeries that wasn't working. I'll be real with you.
I didn't expect Ten Hag to create a system that leaves about 30 yards of space behind the midfield and defense. No one expected that.
Our situations are parallel, bro. It's parallel, bro.
I know. So when you have all that, exactly. So when you have all that chess for us, I find it strange.
And I said, LB asked me, "Are you in a crisis if United beat you?" I said yes. And then I came on it and I said yes.
When I was bald, it's like me walking up to a bald person and going, "Ha ha ha! You got no hair." It's strange. You know,
have you realized? Have you realized after you beat us, I've cooled off a bit on you lot because I said we're in a crisis. I admitted it. You know what I'm saying?
We're bad, but you're worse because the league table don't lie. As a football fan in general, I think I think each and every one of you are class acts. All your channels have got a new subscriber. Big up, Raul. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. Set up correctly, it was not a thing until Don. It's true. No one said that until Don. I love that. You got more passion for us than you do for Chelsea. No, that's not true. This man loves Chelsea, bruv. Unless he's at the West Ham parade. Haaland loves a derby. Yeah, he scored more goals against Man United. It's probably changed now after last night because he scored against Luton. But no, so I think he's got more goals against Man United than any other team in the Premier League. ATT Gaming is a YouTuber. He is live now. Suddenly he passed away on his live stream. Oh God. Really sorry to hear that. And that's sent my anxiety right through the roof. Jesus. But yeah, RIP to that guy. Terrible. I'm back in Egal. He was right about Chelsea. He was right about Chelsea. He did get that spot on.
Thing is, if you waffle enough, you're going to be right at some point.
No,
thank you, Kate.
They were
there was no foundation, Egal.
They were denying that they needed a rebuild. They were denying that Todd Bowley was messing up their club. They were denying that they thought this team was going to get top 4 after their preseason. Like, there were so many times these guys were wrong. They're going to be wrong again. I'll be here.
There's no foundation with your point, though, Egal. That's what I'm saying.
This here says, now Don is making me wonder if I'm hallucinating. That's funny. Egal, who is your top goal scorer? Just asking for Kate.
Top goal scorer. What does he mean? This season or all time?
Must be this season.
This season.
Right now, it's Bukayo Saka.
There we go. Back to some super chats in a minute. I want to throw this out there. Erling Haaland linked with the move to Barcelona, and Barcelona are doing something to raise money. This is an historic decision has just been made. Actually, before we do that, I've got to bring you some sad news. And Kate, this is probably going to impact you a lot more than anybody else here.
Oh God.
But it's just been announced that the loan move to Bayern Munich will become permanent in the summer. 30-year-old Eric Dyer.
That's bad news. That's good.
Hang on. I haven't finished talking. R.I.P. Bayern Munich. They have just killed themselves. They have just literally bought a cyanide pill.
Yes.
How is it possible to leave Spurs and when you're Eric Dyer and level up? How is that possible?
Ask Choupo-Moting. Choupo-Moting went from Stoke to Bayern to PSG. I do not know.
His best friend's Harry Kane. That's why.
That's probably the biggest glow up in Premier League history.
Well, Bayern can hold that with all due respect.
Yeah,
I hate that
fair,
club, man. I hate that club and everything that they stand for.
Why do you hate them so much again? Remind us.
Why do you hate them?
I'll tell you why I hate them. I'll tell you why I
themselves.
hate them because they're a monopoly. They're a monopoly. They sit there and they take from every single club. They take from every single club. Those guys sat there and wasted Sabitzer's career, bro. They wasted him for no reason at all. No, I don't care. I don't care. Hold on, Ram. I don't even give a shit about the whole Champions League and they beat us in Champions. That's not even the thing is for me is that the fact that they take from every single club in that place because they're the dominant force in that league, they take from every single club. Anytime there's the best player in this team and they look like they're building,
bro, that's what we do. That's what you do, bro. That's what you do. That's what we do.
No, it's not as bad as Bayern Munich, bro.
Oh, it's not as bad.
What they do, bro.
That's what all the
they took Sabitzer. They took Sabitzer when they didn't
works.
even need him, bro. They took Sabitzer when they didn't even need him, bro.
Bro, so you're telling me Arsenal never
need
signed a player that they don't technically need, bro? That's how football works, bro.
Nah, mate.
How dare you dominate a smaller club like West Ham and take Declan Rice, you scumbags? And that's what you're saying.
It's not the same though. It's not.
Nah,
the same.
bro,
Why is
you
it
just
not
got
the same?
trauma from the UCL, man, when they beat you 5-1 like
It's
multiple
not,
times.
it's
Let me ask you,
It's
Saad, let me
not,
ask you a
it's
question,
not.
Saad. Let me ask you a question, Saad. If City get kicked out of the league for cheating, and Liverpool fall apart, like Egal says, Man United stay where we are in the mud, Chelsea stay where they are in the mud, and Arsenal become the dominant force in England, will you advocate for Arsenal to not take all the best players because you're the best team and for it to be fairer and spread out?
No, listen, I'm thinking take it more from like other European clubs. No, bring from other European clubs. I'm not saying you can take players from your own league. Of course, they can take players from their own league, but they do it to every single good player that's in that league.
So
If you go
just
look at every
right
single
now.
good player that's in that league,
Because they're Bayern Munich.
yeah, bro, Dortmund need to step up, bro. These other teams need to step up, man, because they're just letting them run
Aight,
all
big
over
up
them,
to
bro.
God.
They're brokies in comparison. They got to get the money up. But we know why you're hating on them. But the story that I wanted to speak about actually was Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland linked with the move to Barcelona, who have just cancelled, I've read, their sponsorship deal with Nike to make their shirts. And this is an interesting one. They're going to be making their own shirts. They're going to be their own manufacturer now, meaning they get all the money, which I don't think it'd be long until other clubs start doing similar if it works. They think they can raise the money, but there's talks from a lot of the sort of Barca-based journalists that talks have now begun with Erling Haaland's camp to try and get him to La Liga. Anyone see this deal happening in the short or medium term?
Take him, please. I don't want him to go.
No.
I want him to go.
Nah, this
So-
is
They're broke.
How long is
Isn't
his contract meant to be?
But he's got contracts until I think 2027, 2028. But apparently City are already like is in preliminary talks to offer a new deal. Bro, this is by the way, we're talking about a football club which got rejected by La Liga to include a buy option for João Cancelo because they're that skint. Yeah, they couldn't so it had to be a straight loan. Are we seriously speaking like they're going to go from not being able to put a buy option in for João Cancelo, which was rumored to be around 35 million euros, to be able to pay a transfer fee for Haaland? I mean, you can all have your own guesses about what City will probably demand as a transfer fee, and then on top of that transfer fee, be able to pay his wages. I just do not see this at all. The woman who represents Haaland, I think she's called Pimenta, she also represents like over 40, 50 other footballers. So it could be anyone out there. I just find it very difficult to see a club which literally about 6-7 months ago was refused to have a buy option in there for João Cancelo to now being able to pay a transfer fee for Haaland, which would probably set a record if, well, who knows, maybe because Neymar's is still crazy, but it'd be over 150 million easy. Like, they really going to be able to afford that? Plus, would he want to go there? I don't know how many of you guys have watched Barcelona this year. I watched them a few times. They're very, very average side. Very average. So I don't
If he leaves, he'll go to Madrid. And like you said, Barca are absolutely broke. This whole thing with the shirts, like, if that was a viable thing, other clubs would already have done it. Like, that's a desperate, we are absolutely skint. How can we get some money? Like, they've sold everything else they possibly have. So yeah, they're broke and they're not getting Haaland.
Including their own grass, man. Like, literally, come on. This is a team that is seriously in. And actually, we shouldn't laugh because, I think there's a serious risk that this club could go bust maybe in a few years if you read actually like what's
that's what happened. I mean, they took all of our best players and spent.
La Liga would never let that happen.
So I'm not happy.
The only way I see it happening is that Real Madrid are going to get Mbappe. There could be a way, because we know in the past that the governments and the La Liga have helped both the big two over there with finances. If the idea is you're basically what they looks like they might try and create, and I think this is how Barca are trying to sell this, by the way, to La Liga and to whoever else can help them financially, we're going to try and create Messi versus Ronaldo 2.0. That's the only way where I see it being feasible for them to raise the funds to do it, or they get, some special dispensation or whatever it may be. They get some debts written off or whatever else. The shirt thing, I agree. It's an interesting one because on paper, it makes sense to make all your own profit. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into manufacturing, a lot of things that can go wrong. And it's why a lot of people, even like celebrities with, that are worth billions, that's why they partner with people, because the infrastructures are already there with those companies, as opposed to, that means they've got to buy and build all their own factories. Like that's sort of, that's all crazy. You might not have any shirts. Like, at the end of it, these things happen. So yeah, I don't know. I don't see it myself. I want it to happen. I'm desperate for it to happen because Haaland leaving is an equalizer, because that guy is just, I mean this with respect, he's a freak. He's an absolute freak of a man, the way he scores and what he does. But Yeah, I don't know, man. Barca. What do you reckon, Egal? Do you think Barca could pull this off? Do you think they could got a little rabbit in the hat?
I think it's going to be difficult, Harry. I think the only way they can pull it off potentially is if City don't get a new deal agreed with him, and he says, "I've done everything at Manchester City. I'm going to go to Barcelona come the end of my term," and he's going to go on a free. And at that point, we're talking what? 2, 3, maybe 4 years away. How many years is that? 4 years away, 3 years away. So I don't see this happening for another 3 to 4 years potentially. And by then, who knows what the state of City or Barcelona is. So yeah, it's just a non-story at this moment in time, just because he's still so successful at City and Pep is there. Maybe with Pep's exit, you could see a situation where Haaland leaves. But at this moment in time, with everything staying the same, I think Pep and him are going to stick together for as long as possible.
Yep. I don't see it.
The only team he's going to is Real Madrid. That's the only team he'd leave City for.
Maybe he wants to be competitive because I thought he would want to join up with Mbappe, but maybe he has the competitiveness in him. Maybe because I think super teams are amazing. They bring so much like eyes to the sport, benefits the team so much. But would he go to another? Would he go and join a super team, be on a team with Mbappe and all these other great players? They might just look at him as like, you know what? You found the easy way out.
I mean,
He did
that with City.
All right, bro. Is he not in a super? Is he not in a super team now?
He is, and then so he's never really challenged himself.
What? He's never challenged himself. What are you waffling about? He's never challenged himself.
Who's at Dortmund, bro?
Before that,
he was at Dortmund, but he didn't win the league with Dortmund. If he goes to Barcelona and he has to face against a team like Real Madrid, where he's not going into the best team into the country that's already won the league. Let's be honest. Anybody goes up top at City, who's a really good striker, would have probably won you the league. Even Harry Kane, even though he's cursed, he probably could have won you guys the league.
Yeah, but I find this argument so bizarre.
Erling Haaland going to Manchester City, winning the treble is amazing. But the reality is, he has numerous players in his team that were also Ballon d'Or candidates.
Let me come in here, because I find this argument so bizarre, because Pep gets it all the time. Oh, you won't respect him until he goes to a League Two side or a weak team and goes and wins the league there. These are professional people, yeah? Whether it's a manager or a player. They're not here to challenge themselves and go to a team that's fourth and try and get them top. They want to win trophies. That's the aim of the game. You know, Usain Bolt ain't going to do the 100-meter sprint with no trainers on because he wants to challenge himself compared to everyone else. No, he's going to have the best. He's going to have the best shoes on to try and get him the best time. The players are going to want to go to the best team to give them the best opportunity of winning the leagues and the Champions Leagues.
And you want to know something? If you take this Manchester City team and you put them against every single Premier League title winning side of history, they probably win. My point being, he is in one of the best teams, and you can give him credit for that, for how good of a player he is. But did he really challenge himself when he joined a team that's already won 2 league titles in a row? Did he really challenge himself when he joins a team that has Gundogan, who's considered one of the best midfielders at the time? Kevin De Bruyne considered one of the best midfielders. Rodri, one of the best midfielders. You got Diaz, who's considered one of the best center backs. You got one of the best goalkeepers in Premier League history at this moment in time with Ederson, with how many trophies he's won. I'm not saying he's
you see a terrible agent, bro.
So Egal, joining the best teams isn't a challenge, is what you're saying.
Joining the best teams in the world might not be as challenging as joining a team that hasn't won their league title for 3 to 4 years in a row.
No, well, if you're the main guy at a super team, like how Madrid had it with Zidane and Figo and players like that, it will just enhance your legacy as well, because you were that guy who led that super team to dominate football.
Guess what? Luis Suarez is highly rated because he went into that Barcelona team, right? Of course, you're going to be highly rated as a striker going into a good team and also carrying that team and raising them to another standard. But of course, if he was to, the reason why Luis Suarez is still looked at as such a great player, because he had his time at Liverpool where he tried to carry a small team.
Because he formed one of the most fearsome front threes of all time.
He had his time at other clubs. He went on to also win with Atletico after his time at Barca.
So would you rate someone like Fernando Torres as greater than Henry because he went to a team that wasn't as good as Arsenal were when Henry joined? Therefore, he challenged himself more, joining at the time a team in a worse situation in Liverpool. Does that give you more greatness?
No, I'm not saying that, Terry. I'm not saying people are better than Erling Haaland. I'm just saying people are going to look at Erling Haaland and they're going to say, you know what, you won all these trophies at City, but can you do it somewhere else?
But the thing is, though, No one's saying it. You're right, and I don't like defending City, but this is
when
the
they
point.
compare. Egal,
but see, I don't think they do. That is a modern day YouTube, Twitter, TikTok take to try and discredit someone. People have done it to Paul Scholes for years. But why didn't he challenge himself abroad? Because he was at the biggest, most pressured club in England, and he dominated the midfield in one of the hardest leagues in the world for 20 years. He didn't have to prove anything to anybody. I see what you're doing here is you're basically sort of you're planting an early seed. And I've been in this game too long. Of if you join Arsenal because they haven't won a league in 20 years, and then you win, I can say my players have succeeded more, even with scoring less goals, because it was more of a challenge for them. It's very obvious what you're doing with that. It's like when Liverpool fans a few years ago, they all started saying City were the greatest team ever. And everyone's like, that's nice of them. And that's nice of them. They're doing it because no, they're doing it, Liverpool fans, because they think they might catch them. And if they can get the world to say City are the greatest ever, and then they overtake them, that makes them the greatest ever by default. It was such an obvious thing. And that's all you're doing, Egal, is your argument is essentially Declan Rice joining Arsenal can make him a greater or have a better career than Rodri, even if he wins less and achieves less, because it was a bigger challenge. That's all you're saying.
Let me prove my point in one simple question. Terry, Mbappe joins Real Madrid, wins the Ballon d'Or, goes on and wins the Champions League and does the domestic double with the Champions League. Is it as impressive as if he did it at PSG?
Depends on the circumstances.
Come on, Terry.
It depends on the circumstances that are going on in the season that you're in, but it's absolutely impressive. Now, you could argue doing what Porto did. Okay, you could argue winning the treble the way they did it was more impressive than City's or Man United's or Inter Milan's because they're a smaller club with a smaller budget as an example, and that makes sense. But it doesn't mean players are not challenging themselves. Going to Real Madrid comes with the pressure of playing for Real Madrid, in my opinion, is 100 times more than playing for PSG. Mm-hmm. So you are challenging yourself just with the pressure. You can make the argument that winning the Champions League with a smaller club with, again, they're financially not smaller, but a smaller club with less pedigree is a great achievement. And I absolutely hear that, but it doesn't mean a player isn't challenging themselves. Declan Rice is challenging himself by joining Arsenal because it's a much harder, more pressured job than playing for West Ham, as an example. You know, but it would have been an even bigger challenge for him to potentially to join Real Madrid, like Jude Bellingham did, because the pressure that comes with that those guys will boo you game week 1 if you mess up. That's how they're built. So I disagree with your premise that the best players in the world joining the best clubs has less pressure and is less challenging than a lesser player joining a smaller club. I think that's wrong.
Terry, just on that, in terms of legacy-wise, you join Madrid, that's a one-way ticket to being talked about as one of the greatest players of all time. Every single player that's talked about being one of the greatest of all time goes to Madrid.
And you're taking that risk. And again, I want to say to the chat, so a lot of people are saying that Egal's right. Now, we're conflating two different points. Is it a great achievement? Is it a greater achievement winning the Champions League with a smaller club? You could argue and probably say yes. Individually for a season, what Leicester did winning the Premier League, you could make an argument it's great. It's a greater achievement than any other Premier League win due to the unexpected nature of it, as an example. But that doesn't mean that joining Leicester as a striker is more challenging than joining Manchester City or Liverpool right now. They're different conversations and arguments. So, yeah, for me, I understand where you're coming from, Egal. I just don't think that's right. The pressure of joining the best clubs, it's like with Pep. I defend him on this. Yes, he gets to spend the most amount of money, but that comes with the most amount of pressure and scrutiny. Terry, and you have to handle that.
Terry, by the way, you did say something. City are not the best team in history. They are. They got the most points, consecutive league titles consistently. They're playing the best, highest quality standard of team, and they have the most squad depth, the best teams you could ever build.
Okay. I'll give you an example, though, why you can't. I don't believe you can say that against eras without more detail. If you go back just 30 years ago, there was one sub or no subs. You had barely any squads. How were teams that were still playing 50 games a season expected to win 4 competitions with a 12, 13-man squad versus a 23-person squad? It's so hard to compare eras because rules were different. So, standards were different. Fitness was different because certain scientific breakthroughs hadn't been made. So, of course, they're fitter now and faster now, and there's better recovery and things like that. So, I don't think it's as simple as just, because you got the most amount of points that makes you the best team ever. Because I don't think that the eras are comparable in that way. Let's have a look at some of these super chats here. This one says Haaland joining City is like when Kevin Durant joined Steph Curry and the Warriors. I don't get the reference.
Not quite, but
he joined a title-winning side that beat him.
It means instead of staying and trying to win it with the OKC, he just joined the best team that there was, and instead of trying to win it with a team that he was at, which wasn't the likely or most likely team to win it, he went and joined the best team just so he could win the title.
So is Egal saying that Haaland should have stayed at Dortmund then? Is that what you're saying?
No.
So what you're saying?
No. I'm saying if Haaland spends his whole entire career at Man City, wins all the trophies, people might still say, you know what? Has he really challenged himself because he's at the best team?
Because don't people say that? Because people don't say that about Messi. People don't say, "Oh, Messi stayed at Barcelona the majority of his career." So
because people viewed Messi's team as he was the linchpin. You know something? Erling Haaland might be scoring 50-something goals, 70 goals, but he is not the best player at City for me.
Yeah, I know.
So that is the reason.
The issue is it's like you put a player in a no-win situation, because pretty much everyone was in agreement that Harry Kane had to leave Tottenham to a team that wins trophies to level up. So if he'd gone to City or Madrid and won a load of things, everyone would have been like, okay, he had a better career. So you put that on players, but then you say, oh, but if you go to a club that's going to win everything, then that takes away from it because you've done the easy thing. And it's like, well, but if he goes to a club that's more of a challenge and doesn't win things, then you'll say, well, your career wasn't as good because you didn't win things. It's like you almost put them in a no-win position unless they happen to go to a underdog club and consistently win things at that club, which is just incredibly rare.
No, but look at some of the greats. They've gone to multiple clubs. I get it. Messi's probably a different situation because he spent majority of his career at Barcelona, but he was the linchpin of that team. He was the best player. Like, I don't think Erling Haaland is the best player at City. I think you could say Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne.
So where does Saka need to go next to challenge himself?
Saka's the best player on the team.
Yeah, but where does he need to go? Where does Saka need to go next to challenge himself, in your opinion?
He needs to win major trophies with Arsenal.
Yeah, but where does he need to move next to challenge himself further? Where should he go that's a bigger challenge for him than Arsenal?
But he's not. Terry, it's different. He's not joining a team that's already winning league titles. He came from the academy, was in a team that was in the Europa League, 8th, and he's built us from nothing.
So we're just saying, so there's nothing Saka can do, or Odegaard can do, or Saliba can do. So what can Saliba? He went from your academy. What can Saliba do to challenge himself more, in your opinion?
If we win the league and we go on to potentially win the Champions League, these guys, all they can do is continuously try to build sustained success. And if it gets to a point where they've done everything at Arsenal, in my opinion, winning at Arsenal is more difficult than winning at Man City, where you've been consistently winning and have the best players in the world.
So there's nothing Saliba or Saka or Odegaard could do to challenge themselves more than being at Arsenal, in your opinion?
No, they could definitely go and do stuff.
Like what? Like what?
Internationally, winning the Euros, winning the World Cup. Also,
club level, what's a bigger challenge than Arsenal?
What's a bigger challenge? Obviously, you're going to say probably Real Madrid or something like that. But at this moment in time, I think it's more difficult to win at Arsenal than it is to win at Real Madrid or Man City.
So you think joining Arsenal is a bigger challenge than the pressure of Real Madrid?
Not necessarily. I'm saying it's harder to win at a club that's not consistently winning and hasn't won a league title in 20 years than it is to win at Real Madrid.
So if you win 3 league titles at Arsenal, but you win, say, 5 or 6 at Real Madrid, you think the 3 at Arsenal
If you win 3 league titles at Arsenal and you win 5 at Real Madrid, you'll be remembered as an Arsenal legend. And at Real Madrid, you'll be remembered as another player.
That's because Madrid has an extensive history.
I mean, it depends how well you play, though, right? In those 5 years and how many goals you score, surely.
If we win a league title or Champions League with
if Jude Bellingham keeps doing what he's doing and wins 5 league titles for Real Madrid, in 100 years, they're going to know who Jude Bellingham is.
Guess what? That is true. But also, if Bukayo Saka...
Steve McManaman didn't win loads out there, but he won stuff. Steve McManaman is still known and loved by Madrid fans 20 years later.
Fair enough, Terry. But my point is, right now, you take Erling Haaland, take him out of City, slap him into Barcelona. They win a Champions League with him. he will be remembered more as a Barcelona legend, and he'll be remembered across world football as what he did for Barcelona.
They're
As
not
being
going to
more
win a
impressive.
Champions League.
Yeah,
They're
but that's
gonna win a
no.
Champions
But
League.
then Egal, you're talking about Egal. You're talking about no, but Egal, but you're talking about legacy. But everyone knows a lot about Barcelona because Barcelona are a bigger club than Man City.
I don't want to talk too much on this, but my main point was around legacy in the first place, was it not?
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. It's not all about which club or the best team you go to. It's about if you go to the likes of if you go to these super clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona, who are seen as super clubs in many people's eyes, which I don't personally agree on.
1 second. Why is Kate holding your head? Kate, what did I say that's making you hold your head?
I just can't. I can't cope with you today, Egal. My head's gone so tired. You just go round in 1,000 circles and still end up talking out of nonsense. I thought it's an art.
You would resonate with this if Harry Kane was to have won something with you guys. Would it not be more memorable as if he won it at Bayern?
I don't know.
But Kane came through their academy. You can't compare Haaland because I can't remember the academy he was at in Norway.
Yeah,
but
Salzburg. Oh, sorry, is that Mulder? Sorry.
Yeah, but Mulder, yeah. Like if he'd won thing, they probably did win the league. I don't know, but you can't really compare it for a player that came from a foreign league to Kane or to Saka or to anyone winning at a club that they happen to be at the academy of.
Simply put,
when you say memorable,
what's more difficult? What Mo Salah has done for Liverpool or what Erling Haaland did last year?
What Erling Haaland did last year. He broke goal scoring records that have stood for 100 years, and he set new records. I mean, in my opinion, we will all be dead before anyone gets near breaking again.
Fair enough.
And he took them to the treble.
And he's only the lead record-breaking striker for only the second English team in history to win a treble. Come on now, like Salah's done great things, but in terms of singular season, there hasn't been a striker in English football history that's had a season like Haaland last year. It's unprecedented. Unprecedented.
You want to know?
No, hang on. Ram, tell me a goal, someone that scored that much and won a treble. Name me. Go on, name it. Ian Rush. Ian Rush didn't win the treble, and he didn't break those records. Otherwise, Haaland would have broke his records. And I'm not playing Ian Rush down, but I'm just saying, like, all these other things are great, but what Haaland did last year was ridiculous. This is some of these super chats here. Terry, you say context and then ask Egal questions and disagree with him when he says context. When did I do that? And when do I not? Again, if I just say context but then don't apply the context, fair enough. But I'm pretty sure when I say add context, I add the context to it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I missed it. Sorry, Tony. Saka is going to be a lifelong Arsenal player. Oh, he might be. I was just trying to understand. But you know what I said earlier about Egal's only doing the challenging thing so that he can say that Arsenal players have done a greater. He literally ended up pretty much admitting that later on in his segment. It's all just about bigging up Arsenal. Did you forget Haaland took City to a treble, Egal?
I could make the case that what do you call it? Rodri did, and he was the best player.
He did as well. They all did. This is called a team.
I know, but who's the actual best player? Who's the linchpin?
Well, we scored 52 goals in 53 games with 9 assists, man.
Didn't he have like 60 goals in all comps or something like that?
61 goal involvements in
52 Champions League final.
But we're not. No one's debating that, bro. No one's debating that.
More than like the Madrid team that won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Like Ronaldo was the main guy, but you still remember the other players that were around him. We're not going to forget him in 10 years' time.
Yeah.
Come on, Egal, man. I know your club don't win a lot of trophies, but you do still remember like
your
team.
LB, bro, relax, bro.
Sorry, man. Sorry, bro.
Me and Rory ain't said nothing to you, bro. Why you
I was doing that thing that I heard from Arsenal fans my whole life. My whole life growing up, I heard from Arsenal fans, and it was, I know Fergie's won X amount more and done this and that, but because our net spend was better than yours, therefore I think our net spend was lower than yours. Therefore, I think our trophies way more than yours. He's basically doing it in the 2004 version. Egal,
I made my point.
Mate, your point missed, bruv.
I can't lie. I think he actually won them the Champions League, bro. I'm just looking at the involvements, bro. He had 12 goals and 1 assist, bro, in the Champions League alone.
Yeah, it's spooky, bro.
I know. Egal, history remembers success stats, not context. To a degree. I think context does apply sometimes. Haaland is 23 years old. Give him time. Yes, that's true. Guy in the top right hates Bayern Munich, but they are run well.
No,
run.
they're not. No,
Right
they're
now,
not.
they're not.
Signed Eric
No,
Dyer.
they're not.
They're all for it now. Barca was good last year. Injury to Gavi and Busquets leaving it was not worked out, as Gundogan and Frankie de Jong ain't working. Instead of Haaland, they should try for Rodri.
Facts.
They should
why
try for
not?
Rodri. They actually
Absolutely.
should. Like, but hopefully, they
Yeah.
won't sell him.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a little bit more chance again with that. He's not as expensive, and also there's the Spanish thing, and there must be. Well, maybe there isn't, but maybe there is generally speaking, people have a desire to play in the homeland, especially if their homeland is got a great league. City have offered him a new deal, or he's gone. Yeah, imagine the money Haaland's going to get paid in a new deal. The whole squad gains experience, youth players, and first team new players winning. Sorry. Whole squad gains experience, youth players and first team, new players winning and competing for trophies this season when we got Alisson in.
I think he's talking about Egal's point where he's like, everyone's starting to win, they're growing,
Yes,
and if we get Alonso, then we're going to be.
I get you. Barca kiddie sweatshops in India incoming then. Well, I'm not going to comment on that. Just to let you know, that guy is not deceased. Oh, someone just super chatted it as a lie. That's a weird thing to do, bruv. Who? Ram loves listening to Waffle. Defends us better, bro.
Man, I need to hear the opinion before I can defend, bro. What do you want me to do?
Just because you're a top athlete doesn't mean you won't use illegal substances. Sorry, already done that one. Terry, what do you mean no one cares what you do at PSG? Messi won many awards this year for winning Liga. Yeah, exactly. Great point. Every sport has major doping issues. The NBA Players Association has banned the NBA from testing them for HGH. I don't know what that means. Look at the new enhanced games happening. Fair dues. You really don't understand Egal's point, or are you disingenuous? Barca won't use 30 years to come back. Come on now. I don't think we're being disingenuous. I understand what Egal's saying. I just disagree with it. And we question it and we challenge it to see if we can understand it more. Could be Juventus set him up to get their bag off their books? Oh, sorry, no, we already done that one. Yeah, Gal believes that one, doesn't he? But there we go. Score predictions for the Manchester Derby, peeps. What we going with?
3-1 Man City.
I'll go. That's all right, bro. It's just stealing my moment. I'll go for. I've got to get my chest out, man.
Come on.
I'm gonna go for 4-1.
There we go, LB.
Put your boobs away, bro. Come on, I don't see them, LB. The other day it was your artificial penis, and now it's your boobs you're getting now. Come on now. You had to watch the show to get that joke.
Yeah.
What are you getting with the gal?
I'm thinking, what am I going to go with? What was your past fixtures like? 3-0, 2-1, 2-1, 6-3, 4-1. It's going to be a close one this time. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Man City victory.
Saad?
Is just a quick question, Tel. Is Haaland definitely out of this game?
Yeah,
no chance.
Zero chance.
Apparently, Bruno's a risk as well.
Bruno's limping.
Oh wait, Bruno's out of the team.
Possibly.
Oh, 1-1. 1-1 then.
1-1. What are you going with, Kate?
3-1 City.
Come on, someone.
Sorry.
Ram.
4-1 City.
Rory.
5-0 City.
5-0 is crazy. Why didn't even give him a goal?
Wait, Terry, your only hope is the football gods. That's it, mate. Honestly.
No, this is perfect. Terry, what's your prediction?
I'm doing mine on the Straight Facts tomorrow. So you have to tune into the show then at 3:30 in the afternoon, people, if you want to know what my prediction for that one is. Yeah, but right now I feel like we've got 3 hopes. Do you know what I mean? No hope. What's it? What is it? 3 hopes? No hope. No, 2 hopes. 2 hopes. Yeah, no hope and Bob Hope. That's all we've got. Like, we've got nothing else. I don't know what the third one was. I was thinking about the 3 nuns. The 3 nuns. Ram has a 3 nuns every time he goes out. You know, can't get none, won't get none, ain't likely to get none either. Do you know what I mean?
Hilarious.
He has the three nuns on the night out.
It's crazy.
Score predictions for Tottenham Palace. What you going with, Kate? We'll start with you on that one.
Oh, God. 2-1 to Spurs.
New manager bounce 2-1 to Palace.
God. Oh, yeah, look, Egal with his chest again.
Now I'm telling you, new manager bounce. They won their last game. You're gonna see.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough. Fair dues. Rory, what you going with on that one? A little bit of Spurs versus the Palace.
3-1 Spurs.
3-1 Spurs. LB
2-0 Spurs.
and Ram.
2-2.
And the other game, because we'll preview Arsenal when it comes to Monday, but we'll do that on Monday's show. But Brentford, Chelsea away. Chelsea away. I mean, they beat the mighty Leeds United last night. What are you going with, LB, on this one? Chelsea going to win again, or is Don going to be coming out here defending his team again on the match reaction?
Aren't Brentford like they've not won a game like 4 games or something? I think they've got like 3 or 4 L's on the row. You know what? I'm gonna go for a 2-1 Brentford.
Oh, what you saying, Egal?
I'm going Neil Mopai, Ivan Toney to score 2, and Chelsea. Where the goals coming from? 2-1 Brentford.
Saad?
I think it's going to be 3-1 Brentford. I think it's going to be a good game for Brentford. I think they're going to start to open up and score goals, man. I think this Chelsea, especially with Neil Mopai, bro. We know he loves to rattle centre backs. He loves to get on their nerves. I don't know if they're ready for that. I don't know if they're ready for that kind of rattling, bro. That kind of it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What about yourself, Rory? How do you think that'll go for Chelsea?
2-2.
2-2. Ram?
I'm going to go for a shock. I think Chelsea going to nick it 2-1.
Hey. And
I
what
need
you
to
saying,
see
Kate?
Mopai do the Warmer celebration.
I'm going 3-1 Brentford.
Oh,
Oi.
big result. Kate, your husband here thinks Man United will beat City this weekend. Listen, I hope you're right, Jimbo, because it would be amazing.
Terry, this is the man that thought Tottenham were going to win the league. So take it with a pinch of salt.
Oh, your husband's one of them. Oh,
He's one of them. Yes,
divorce.
he's one of them.
Divorce is very quick and affordable online these days. You can do it in about an hour. You know what I mean?
He had 2 already, so we get the third one free.
You'll be left with nothing, though, with what the others are getting. Jesus. Final game to score predictions on Nottingham Forest at home against Liverpool. What are you saying, Ram? Are the Klopp's kids going to win 3 on the bounce?
I think they might. I think it's going to be 2-1. I've got to be mindful of what I say. My dad's in the other room.
Oh, yeah, your dad's Forest, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ram's going to get kicked out tonight. What are you saying, Rory, for this one, mate?
I'm actually going to go 2-1 Nottingham Forest.
Ooh.
Why am I not
that?
surprised? Why am I not surprised?
I'm with Rory on this one, bro. I think 2-1. Nottingham Forest, man. You know what I mean? Iuni, whatever his name is.
What's
man.
your context? Why do you guys think Forest going to win?
Now, to be fair, Liverpool have just like had a couple big games. You know what I mean? They've stretched the squad, and Forest are a decent team, man. Like,
And
Forest at home aren't bad.
And did you see the amount? I mean, Southampton should have scored 3 or 4 goals last night. They should have done. And I did read something today. I haven't checked if it's true. I read somewhere that the average age of the Southampton team was actually younger than Liverpool's.
Was it?
But for some reason, that got lost in the media because obviously, like, Klopp's kids is a thing. But I think Forest have got a chance. I'm gonna go over 2-2 in the game. But Forest, they weren't that good against United last night. They weren't, but they can beat teams. They can beat teams. They can beat them. But look, I want to thank everyone that's tuned in. I want to say a big thank you to everyone. Make sure you get Match Bingo downloaded. Get it on your phones right now. It's an amazing game, especially over the weekend. There's a game on you're not enjoying, just seeing if you can win a little game of bingo. It's amazing. Also, a lot of their proceeds and a lot of their profits go to the Stroke Association. So they help a lot of people that are suffered with and the families that are connected to victims of strokes. It's a big part of their organization is raising money for that. So it is something that if you do have a little bit of a responsible flutter at the weekends, please put some of that towards Match Bingo and help them raise money for such a brilliant and deeply needed association. But until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very